And welcome to the SCG for this, the final of the Plan B Regional Bash. And we've got the ACT Aces taking on the Central Coast Rush, and they're just about to toss the coin to decide what happens first in this deciding match. So we'll just hand it over to the umpires here. ACT are called heads. It's a tail. Okay, so it looks as though Central Coast will have a bat first. So, Pete, you got bragging rights over your brother, and now you're in the deciding match.
Yeah, mate, yeah, look, obviously it wasn't about getting any bragging rights over Richie. I mean, it might be a little bit of banter at Christmas one day, but it certainly wasn't about that. But I certainly was happy with the way we went about it. Obviously lost the toss, and to come out and chase a pretty challenging score, obviously on a good deck, was very good for us. Yeah, very happy.
Proud of the performance of Steve McCabe?
Fantastic performance, mate. He's actually he turned up against them in the final, the 50 over stuff recently, and now he's got 80 not out against them there. So look, he's batting fantastically. Just hope the old rig stays together, mate, for the last game. So yeah,
all the best.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you. And we'll have a quick word to Ethan Bartlett. Good to see you again.
Yeah, you too. Cheers.
Positive result in the Thunder Conference final, and you're bowling first.
Yeah, bowling first. We did that in the first game as well, so I think we're all pretty comfortable with doing that first. Yeah.
And this pitch, how do you think it's going to play tonight?
It's been a little bit slow in the first couple of games, but it seems to have played pretty well. I mean, the guys just chased down 135 there pretty easily, so I think there's some runs in there for sure. Yeah.
Used the Yorker well in the Thunder Conference final. You going to use that tactic again?
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully we can hit it a couple of times and get a couple of wickets early and yeah, put them on the back foot a little bit.
Thanks very much for your time.
Cheers.
All the best, Ethan. Yeah, cheers, mate. So there it is. Central Coast have won the toss here in this Plan B Regional Bash final at the hallowed SCG. They'll bat first, and ACT will have ball in hand. Ready to get underway. You're here with David Gavin. I'm joined by Matt Taberner and Gary Birkinshaw for the first 10 overs or so. And as you just saw there, ACT will be bowling first after Central Coast captain Peter Galichin won the toss and elected to bat. So an interesting decision there, given the Central Coast chased down quite comfortably 134 against the Coffs Coast Chargers in the last match completed here at the SCG to decide the finalist in this Plan B Regional Bash final. Just running through that for you. The scores in that match: Steve McCabe, 77 not out from 48 balls. He was superb for the victors. They finished 3 for 137 in reply to 5 for 134. And earlier today, well, the Central West Wranglers, unfortunately, they just couldn't quite get over the top of ACT. After ACT won the toss, elected to bowl first, they contained the Wranglers to 5 for 111 and won with 6 wickets in hand. So as we just await for the umpires to enter the field of play and the two teams to follow suit, just ask the thoughts of Gary Birkinshaw and Matt Taberner on this upcoming final.
Yeah, I think the two best teams today have definitely made it through to the final, and I think we're in for a cracking match today. I think just looking at the scores from the first two games, I think it's going to come down to the ball. I think in the batting we saw Flores and Missick in that first game control the game for the ACT and get them over the line. In the Central Coast game, McCabe, Taylor, Galichan all together putting in 50-run partnerships between each other. But I think it's going to come down to the ball here. ACT, both teams bowled that Yorker very well, bowled that shorter ball very well into the wicket. ACT, I think they'll look to Mern and Allen with the ball. They were the best performers this morning for the ACT, and for the Central Coast, Lindsay and Murphy bowled really well. So I think it's going to come down to the ball. And I think if you can get that 140, 150 score, you're going to be hard to beat in this game.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, Matt. I think 140, 150 certainly going to be a very competitive score for the Rush, and that's what they'll be looking for. And I think that these two sides, the difference between these two sides and the sides that got beaten in the semi-final is their bowling depth. So they're not just have the 4 or 5, they actually go down to 6, 7, 8. So they've got a lot of bowling options, a lot of variety for their captains to turn to in any situation. So both sides had good players who in the top 3 or 4 batsmen, top 4 batsmen able to go on and get a big score, and I think that'll be critical again. And I suppose the other thing was I think those are the two best fielding sides. So I think catchers and who fields well could have a pivotal influence on this game as well. But batting first, the rush, really good opportunity to really get a good start and really put pressure on the ACT side.
And who do you two gentlemen think will be the key players for each side in this particular final?
I'm going to stick with Adam Taylor. I said that before the semi-final. I think he's bowling and batting very good. Steve McCabe obviously come out with 77 runs and was very pivotal with that. But I think Adam Taylor's all-round ability, I think, will be very pivotal, especially if he can get him away to a flyer. I think that'll set him up quite nicely. And with the ball, they've got the 3 left-arm spinners. You know, that's what they've done well all year, and it worked well for them against the Coast Coast Chargers as well. So I think that could be pivotal also.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Tim Flores for the ACT Aces. We saw him open the batting for them in the first game and really controlled the innings. He was the rock behind it. Everyone's batting around it, and I think Central Coast will be very keen to get him early. I think all the games there, the ACT plays, he's been the rock. He's been the one that bats through, gets the runs, get him off to a good start. So if they can limit his impact at the start of the innings, I think it'll go a long way for the Central Coast Rush to get the victory in the Plan B Regional Bash Final.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for that insight as the umpires enter the field of play here at the famous Sydney Cricket Ground under lights. So what an honour, an opportunity for these men in both sides to experience what it's like to play at the SCG under the bright lights.
I think we've got the 2 best country umpires too. Graham Glazebrook out from the Central West in Portland, country umpire of New South Wales for the last 2 years. He's won that award. He's gone to the Australian Country Championships and has umpired the T20 final there this year in Shepparton. So it's good to see him. Looks like he's going to be at the tennis court end here. Paddington end, yeah. And Bruce Baxter down at the other end at Randwick end is come along as well. So just like we said, mentioned that last game, it's a big thrill for these 2 umpires and all the umpires that have come from country cricket today to be able to get out there and experience this just like the players.
So we're in safe hands in terms of the officials, and it will be Michael Ninneman, as he did in the Thunder Conference final against the Central West Wranglers. He'll be opening up from the Paddington end of the ground, and Taylor will be opening the batting with Cornwall, Tony Cornwall. They'll be looking to get off to a fast start after their captain Peter Gellichin won the toss and elected to bat. Both of these sides playing in their first Plan B Regional Bash final. In fact, all 4 teams involved in the finals here at the SCG today made the elimination stages for the very first time in the 3-year history of this, 4-year history rather, of this competition. First started 2015-16.
I suppose one thing to keep in mind, Matt, one thing just as a bit of a sideline, how many times do you reckon that Adam Taylor will lose control of the bat in this innings? He did it twice when he batted before, that slippery grip. What do you think in this innings?
Well, we've seen it quite a few times, 3 or 4 times. We even had a wicket off, lost the bat too. So hopefully, maybe they've gone down to the local hardware store, got some super glue or something just to keep hold of this bat. Maybe cooler conditions might help him out a bit too, but nothing like a good bat toss. Legally, of course, and not after you got out. And yeah, it looks like we're about to kick off here.
One where the bat was flown into the air, but we'll come back to that. In comes Ninneman for the very first delivery of this final. It's a short ball, it's down the leg side, and it's just paddled with a pull shot down towards fine leg. I'll pick up a single, and Central Coast are away in this final. Not the most convincing shot, but he found the open pastures, and Taylor is away.
And one thing we did see in the Central Coast innings in the first game is these 2 will look to go hard early on. It started to come off with them, but it just didn't quite get it away as often as they like. And we spoke about what these 2 teams did really well was limit dot balls, and I think that's going to be very important again today.
Yeah, you're right there. And Central Coast show that they hit 4s, a lot of boundaries, so the Aces will certainly be wary of that also.
This one's short of a length into the pads of Cornwall, and he's just working onto the onside, and he'll pick up a single. So 2 singles to start things off.
Certainly been a fantastic day. Good crowd in there, and the members and the viewing of the live streaming has been fantastic, courtesy of Bar TV, the best in the business. Bar TV are, and all those watching in the final as well. I think they'll be in for a real treat.
Yeah, and a few people off work now, sitting at home, looking for something to do tonight. I'd suggest you sit here for 40 overs because we're going to have a great game of cricket.
Certainly are. Ninneman. In he comes again on the runway, short of a length to Taylor. Just tried to work that on the onside, couldn't quite time it, squared him up a touch.
Yeah, we've seen with the first 3 balls here, short of a length, short of a length. We've talked about it all day today. That short of a length has been very hard to get away, and I think they've learned from that first game. Through this, ACT bowled that very well, and it looks like they're going straight back to it again.
They bowled really well in that Thunder Conference final, didn't they?
Yeah, they executed all their plans. They fielded exceptionally too. Probably the best fielding we've seen today as well, so they're going to be right on.
So Ninneman into Taylor again, open stance, and he's pulling this away, and he's found the gap, and he'll find the rope. So the first 4 of this Plan B Regional Bash final, and it belongs to Adam Taylor. He's 5 from 3.
Yeah, really good shot there on the short ball there. Got back really quickly and just sort of forearm jolt there behind square leg. He's a powerful hitter of the ball, Adam Taylor, and that's one of his strengths is being able to find the gaps, hit the ball hard, pick up anything that's just slightly loose, slightly short, slightly wide.
Certainly sets up for that, doesn't he? He's got that open stance, so he can quickly and easily lean back and play that pull shot. Ninneman, this time it's Fuller, driven, open stance again. He sort of played that off the back foot, but no run.
I think it's important too. We've spoken about the short ball and back of a length, but I don't think you can do that every ball. You can't let the batsman get used to that, knowing it's going to come every ball, because they can set up for that. So it's very important that you vary your lengths. One thing ACT did very well in that first game was bowl the Yorkers. They hit that pop increase so many times and near the white, out there wide of off stump. So it's very important they keep doing that as well. Don't just keep bowling that short ball.
So Ninneman, his final ball of this first over of the final, and this is short down the leg side, and that'll be a wide. Umpire Glazebrook signals as such.
One thing the Aces did really well in the first game as well against the Wranglers, they took early wickets, so that really had the Wranglers on the back foot, and they had to really spend probably 6, 7, 8 overs just reconsolidating the innings, and that just prevented them from getting any real momentum through. So it'll be important for the rush to actually to not lose a clump of wickets in the power play in particular, and that's what the Aces will be trying to do.
Ninneman, and he comes again over the wicket to Taylor, driving firmly down the ground, but it's fielded by mid-off. So the first over has been completed in this Plan B Regional Bash final. And Central Coast, after they won the toss and elected to bat, none for 7 after 1 over. Taylor is 5 from as many deliveries faced, and Cornwall is just the 1 run. He's only faced the 1 delivery as well. So just a quick reminder, if you are watching our stream from the comfort of your home, or maybe streaming on the phone, train somewhere, just remember to have that Plan B in place if you're thinking about going out anywhere this weekend or in coming days. Proud sponsors of this particular event, Transport New South Wales and Plan B. And it looks like Annabelle will be taking up the attack from the Randwick end, similar to what he did in the Thunder Conference final against the Wranglers, and he's coming over the wicket to Cornwall. And this is short of a length. It's a little shorter than that, and dispatched by Cornwall. Pull shot out through mid-wicket, and 4 more.
Yeah, it looks like both batsmen are just sitting back waiting for that short ball now. I think it's probably time just to change it up a bit. Probably a bit of nerves also too with the first ball in the final. He's under 19 player, so under lights final, country final at the SCG, probably a few nerves there. But yeah, I think it's time. They probably need to just try and hit that length now, try and get him on the front foot, then just use that short ball as a surprise weapon.
Good start by the Central Coast. How will Annabelle reply? In he comes. Left armour to Cornwall, driving briskly out to the cover region, but finds that man at short cover.
Yeah, we're putting pressure on the bowlers here early in the power play. I know how important it is to get off to a good start, so the bowlers need to hit their mark straight away, and likewise the batsmen now, they have to be switched on as well. So Ethan Bartlett's got a slip in to start with, so he's supporting his bowler with an attacking field, so full credit to him.
Ethan Bartlett himself in at first slip, so takes the lead there as captain. Annabelle, and again to Cornwall on the back foot, that squeezed him a little bit, nursed it off the hip down towards fine leg. Picks up another run.
That's one thing the ACT did really well in that first ball. They didn't give any width. Anytime they bowled, it was always at the stumps or at the body. Didn't give the width. They got 2 or 3 wickets from that short ball because there was no width. So I think they'll look to do that again. And when they bowl fuller, that's when they put it a little bit wider, flirt with that wide. But they executed very well in the first game against the Wranglers.
Very interesting to see there on that side-on shot that Adam Taylor is batting very deep in his crease. Here comes Annabelle to Taylor. And Taylor again almost plays it off the back foot. Foolish delivery on off stump. And it's fielded by mid-wicket.
It's probably happening more and more in cricket. The introduction of T20 cricket, probably the advancement of the slower ball. Batsmen now getting further back in the crease, gives them that little bit extra time to adjust to whatever ball's bowled. And there's not so much movement of the feet back and forwards now. They just really stand there, clear the front leg and
get that base.
Yeah. It's more about keeping the head still nowadays.
So Annabelle so far conceded 5 runs off his first over from the Randwick end, and he comes to Taylor. Taylor trying to work that on the onside and doesn't get it away, and it just squirts out to the offside and fielded by short cover.
He's come back really well here, Annabelle. The first ball went for a boundary, but he's only conceded 1 since then. But again, what both teams did really well in that last game is both their last games is that last ball. Very few times they gave away a boundary, so I'm sure they'll be keen to do this again. Finish the over strong.
So Bartlett has taken out the slip for Taylor, left-hander, and the left armour Annabelle into Taylor. He advances, tries to drive down the ground, and Q ends it. Just bobbles down the pitch. No run, so no damage done for ACT, and as Matt mentioned, good comeback there by Annabelle. Just conceded the 5 runs, and 4 of those came from the very first delivery. So none for 12 from 2 overs, run rate of 6.
A good start by both sides. They're just easing their way into the match, which is to be expected. And not a lot of play at the venue, let alone under lights in a game of this magnitude. So just a bit of a filling out period. So they'll be both happy with how it started so far.
So still a bit of daylight here at the SCG, and the lights are slowly emerging.
Good thing too is a lot of the crowds hang around. I noticed a lot of Wranglers in the Chargers team are still here.
Ninneman to continue into Cornwall. That's on his pads, flicked very nicely, but there's a man out in the deep. Deep wicket cuts off what would have been a boundary, and just 1 run conceded.
And it's good too. I was having a chat between the games. There's a few country media people down here too, which is good. Some reporters, and I've noticed on social media, especially, a lot of stories have gone up right from the word go. So that's great to see too. We're getting a good message out there.
Definitely. Best of country cricket on display here at the SCG. This is short of a length. He's whacked that down the ground, hasn't he, Cornwall? Pardon me, it's Taylor. And a British shot down the ground. It was a little bit airborne for a while, but no one was catching that one, and he moves to 9.
Yeah, a bit of width given there, and he had that stage, you mentioned that stable base before. He's deep in the crease, foot nowhere near the ball, but he cleared the leg and it just hit through the ball. And width is very very vital for the batsmen. They get that bit of width, they'll take advantage of it.
So how will Ninneman reply here? Fuller, Taylor driving down the ground, doesn't time it on that occasion. It's fielded by Rahman. That looks like his hitting zone there. Just short of a length on that middle off stump, just outside off stump line. You can free the arms, clear that front leg, and really hit straight through the ball.
Really enjoys that width, so you didn't know whether Ninneman coming round the wicket, getting the ball to come back into him, might be a good tactic.
He continues over the wicket to Taylor, and again drives down the ground with power, but unfortunately doesn't quite time it and just picks up the single.
Talking about losing the bat early, I've noticed Taylor's got the towel in the back of his pants there. Is that maybe a tactic? I think he was the one that was caught behind and lost the bat. Has he learnt?
I'm not sure whether he's wiping the bat with it or the gloves. I'm not sure. You'll see he's got batting inners on. So,
quick question I've got, and we'll come back to that after the next Ninneman delivery to Cornwall. Here he comes to the right-hander, driving, and there's a misfield at cover. So he should pick up a couple here, Cornwall. Bartlett cleans up. picked up 3 they have. So an expensive over so far.
Yeah, a bit
9
of
off
shape.
it.
Yeah, a bit of shape with that one though. He's just got a bit of outswing there, so that's a promising sign for Ninneman. If he can get it on the right line and nibble it away.
A lot of these country cricketers, do they use the single grip? Do they use double grips? Could that be a reason? Bit of sweaty hands through the gloves. Ninneman continues over the wicket to Taylor. Taylor trying to work that ball off middle and leg stump out through mid-wicket. Doesn't get it away. 3 overs down in this Plan B regional bash final. 1 for 21, so that run rate's increased to 7. I think they'll be comfortable with that. No wickets down as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the grip. To be honest, it used to be pretty common to have the double grip or whatever to thicken that. But normally the slippery grip comes down to either not enough rubber on the grip or the gloves have got a bit slippery. But given the fact that he's wearing inners underneath, so we've got Annabelle now. Is it Annabelle continuing? He's going to come around the wicket to Cornwall. Good start by the rush. 21 on the board off the 3 overs.
It's a solid start. Annabelle, we mentioned changing up the angle to Cornwall. Cornwall on the back foot. He heaves that over wide mid-on. Won't quite reach the boundary rope. Good work there by young man down there. Number 3. Clarified. Ollie, well, 3 is Ollie Annabelle. Looked like a 3. We'll get that clarified, but it was a great piece of work by the fielder to stop the boundary.
Yeah, very good fielding there. Every run's vital in T20 cricket, especially in the final, so he did really well there.
So 3 off the first delivery, and Ollie Annabelle has changed back to over the wicket. In he comes to Taylor. Taylor driving square of the wicket and can't beat point.
We spoke about many times today about getting in and out of the over, and once again, it's not for the first time they've been able to get 3-4 runs off the first ball of the over, which sets it up quite nicely, takes a lot of the pressure off. If they manage to get another one away in the over, all of a sudden they have a very good over.
We saw in the last over from Annabelle too, the first ball went for a boundary, only 1 off. This one's gone for 3. He'll be looking to do something very similar again, just to make sure that he survives as well.
Seems to work into his overs, doesn't he? Annabelle. And he comes again to Taylor on the back foot, pulling. He's found open pastures. He's actually cleared the rope. That's a big hit. Went flat, hard and flat from Taylor, and he moves to 16 from just 14 balls faced.
Yeah, this start from the Central Coast is really going to see what ACT do to respond, because I noticed in the first game they just went pace in the power play. Be interesting to see if they're going to continue with that or they're going to bring spinners on to change it up a bit, because they're really enjoying the pace on the ball here. They're just sitting back, waiting for that short ball, and 6 there. Boundaries off every over so far, so it's going to really put some pressure back onto the ACT Aces and what their tactics are going to be now.
Well, I mentioned this in the Thunder Conference final. I think Scott Mearn could have bowled an extra over. Maybe he could come into the attack a little earlier.
I see they've made a change in the field. They've dropped square leg back and brought 3rd man up.
Annabelle to that change of field over the wicket to Taylor. Taylor drives with the kitchen sink and then some. And it took Annabelle by surprise. We hope he's all right. He was smashed back at him.
He looked a bit angry.
Yeah, a bit of a stare there, wasn't there? Nothing wrong with fast bowler stare back. We'll see this again, but I reckon he's giving him the death stare. Oh.
Yeah, there it is.
There it is. There's the face. Good to see from a young fast bowler. Good next generation coming through.
Taylor continuing to stand deep in his crease, give himself plenty of time from that base that he uses. Annabelle into Taylor, and Taylor whips that down the ground. It'll be fielded by mid-on, but won't stop the single.
Yeah, well bowled and well played. Good hit the crease line, and Taylor was able to bunt that down to mid-on. Took off quickly and got an easy single in the end.
He looks as though he'd be a good baseball player, Adam Taylor. He's got a really good eye, and the way he hit that 6 was very flat.
Amazing, he doesn't play anything at all in winter. He's just purely a cricketer.
Yeah.
So he gets sore knees playing cricket. So that's what he plays. But he just loves his cricket.
Annabelle around the wicket to Cornwall. In he comes. Cornwall thick inside edge. And it squirts out towards fine leg. A little fortunate there, but he picks up a single. 11 off the over. Another productive one for the Central Coast Rush. And Peter Gellichin would be very happy with this start so far. 4 overs completed in the power play. 4 overs completed in the final of the Plan B Regional Bash, none for 32.
There is definitely a change of bowler here in the Paddington end. Looks like they're changing it up a bit. So looks like Bartlett's coming on, the skipper. He's going to take the lead here. So yeah, no doubt I think they had to change it up. But I'm surprised they've gone with another quick. I thought they might have tried a spinner just to mix it up a bit and just take that pace off the ball and see how it goes. But they're going to stick with the medium pace at the moment.
He seemed to bowl within himself in the earlier final, Ethan Bartlett, and he comes over the wicket to Cornwall. Cornwall on the back foot. He's thumped that. It's gone all the way for 6, right in front of the members.
Yeah, Central Coast crowd in the member stand there, very happy with that shot there. And it was just a bit of a looser, it looked like a bit there from Bartlett, and Cornwall back as quick as a flash and hit the ball really well. And got it early, got it well in front of square. So great shot over mid wicket.
Powerful pull. Bartlett again to Cornwall. This time waits on it and drives out through point, but doesn't beat the man.
Seems they're happy just to wait for that short ball and getting 3 or 4 of them and over there. Then the times they've pitched it up here, there haven't been many runs off it, or just a single or a couple. So looks like they're really waiting for that short ball. So I think it might be time just to get it up there nice and full and bowl that for an over.
Bartlett into Cornwall again. Tries the same shot that brought about 6 earlier in the over, and this time he doesn't connect.
Yeah, we mentioned before the 6 off the first ball. Gets the Central Coast on in front for that over.
They could finish this power play with in excess of 50, and that'd be very good news for them. In comes Bartlett to Cornwall. This time he just dabs a cut shot backward of square. It's fielded by third man. Picks up a single. So that's clever cricket as well. Rotating the strike. He brings Taylor back onto strike. Cornwall's been the runaway leader in this partnership so far. 21 from 12. Taylor 17 from 16. Hasn't quite found his groove. There's a couple of times he's been looking to clear the rope and hasn't quite connected the way he probably would have wanted. Bartlett over the wicket to Taylor on the back foot, and again just trying to work that off the pads. Might be a leg by, in fact. And it is.
I think it's really smart batting. That, you know, most batsmen 17 and 12 balls, you've got that left-right hand combination. So they're, you know, facing 1 or 2 balls, rotate that strike, get the left-hander on strike or the right-hander on strike. So they've got to change their field, change their lines, and just mix it up a bit.
Bartlett just ambles in to Cornwall, and he's out. So a drive down the ground. It didn't come off, unfortunately. He didn't time it. He's found Rahman at mid-on. It's a big wicket for the ACT. They're first. Central Coast 1 for 40.
Yeah, exactly what they needed, and to break this partnership up, they were getting away from it. And again, started with a 6 off that first ball of the over, but they've clawed it back to only have 8 off the over and got that wicket. But yeah, Rahman showed in the first game that he's a very good fielder, and he's taken that very comfortably. And just that wicket in the power play, if they can nick another one in this over, get 2 for in the power play, you know, they'll feel that they're back in the game.
Yeah, good little cameo there by Tony Cornwall. Obviously would have liked to have gone on and got a bit more, but he got 22 and, you know, in quick time and set a really good momentum for the innings.
Bartlett does it again. Picks up those key wickets when they're required, doesn't he?
Yeah. So this is Ben Cohen coming to the crease for Central Coast. He got caught at long on off the spinner in the semi-final. Another change in the bowling, I think it is.
Looks as though it's my man Scott Mearn coming into the attack. He did a great job in that Thunder Conference final. Just takes that bit of pace off the ball. Bowled a terrific Yorker for one of his wickets. He'll go a long way to see a better one.
Yeah, took the leg stump out of the ground in off Ben Mitchell. Big wicket there, just when he was starting to warm up a bit. So yeah, he probably just comes in next to find that wicket, and I'm sure he'd like to see the stumps go flying again this over.
So 1 for 40 after after 5 overs, so a run rate of 8 for the Central Coast. Scott Mearn to replace Ollie Annabelle at the Randwick end of the ground. There's the light slowly coming on here at the SCG. And in comes Mearn over the wicket to Taylor. And that's a short wide delivery outside off. And a fair way outside off.
They haven't started the overs off well in this game, have they, ACT? Every first ball's either been a boundary or sundry or that, so they're playing a bit of catch-up each over.
So they've got the men out. They've got third man, deep square leg of the two fielders that are allowed outside the circle.
Mearn jogs in again over the wicket to Taylor. This is a full ball on the pads of Taylor, and he gets it up and over the infield. It may trickle into the boundary rope, but the man that's out in the deep on the onside cleans up, keeps it to 2. 3 runs off the over. So he's better than a run a ball now. Taylor. In comes Mearn again to Taylor. Taylor driving, but he's lofted that and it's found the man. Bartlett takes the catch. And a wide mid-off position coming around from extra cover. And another wicket falls, and a big wicket at that of Adam Taylor. Another set batsman departs. 2 for 43.
Yeah, that's turned the game a bit there with in the power play, that losing both opening batsmen who were both set and scoring quite well in the space of 3 or 4 balls. So there just wasn't quite the position to drive, I suppose, over the top. And just spooned an easy catch to Bartlett. You see there, he's just deep in the crease again and just got it high up on the bat and just spooned it to short extra cover there. So well bowled.
Looked as though he could have played that off the back foot, in fact.
Was going hard at it, wasn't he? Really wanted to get out to it.
Keen to get it down the ground.
Yeah.
We spoke about it in the last game too, when the Coffs Coast Chargers lost those 2 wickets, 2 set batsmen together, and all of a sudden they had to restart again. We've got this again. We've got 2 batsmen. You haven't faced the ball either batsman now, so they've basically got to start again. So nearly, they've really got to start again, knuckle down, get that partnership going. But what we saw in the last game, Steve McCabe's probably the man you want to come in at this situation.
Star of the Sixers Conference Final, where the Central Coast prevailed against the Coffs Coast Chargers. Mearn to continue over the wicket to the new batsman in McCabe, and he's in the back foot and he's slashing at that one. The keeper shook his head. He thought that might have been an edge. Maybe been a bit of extra pace on that one too.
I think that might be a bit extra pace. I don't think he was expecting one to come through that quickly. I think the last one might have been a bit slower. That one was definitely not a bit slower. He might have bet the back on that one.
He's deceptive, isn't he, Mearn?
Yeah, definitely through past McCabe, before he finished swinging at that. But he's off the mark now, McCabe. 77 not out in the semi-final, and he's underway in the final.
Certainly is. Flicks it off his pads, out through square leg. So wide, 3 runs, and a wicket. Mearn's had everything in this over, but most importantly for the ACT Aces, he's picked up a wicket. Brings Cohen on to strike, who's yet to face a ball. He's already seen a wicket depart.
And Cohen, he'll go hard at it as well. That's his game.
Front foot or back foot player?
Oh, he'll get probably more on the front foot.
Mearn over the wicket to Cohen on the back foot. He tried to dab that down towards third man, but caught the inside edge, maybe from the back of the bat as it squirted down towards fine leg. They'll pick up a couple though. 6 off the over. There's a wicket.
And last ball of the power play here, so it'll be interesting to see how they play this one. Do they look for that boundary or just look to get through and without losing another wicket?
It's a match on even keel now after the power play. Given those 2 wickets in recent overs. Mearn into Cohen driving down the ground, and it's fielded by mid-off. So the power play is now complete. 2 for 46. The rush.
And if we look at the last game, Central Coast Rush were 2 for 40 after their power play, so pretty much where they were last game. So yeah, they'll be looking there, but last 2 overs have only gone for 14 and taken a couple of wickets after they're going at an 8 and over to start off with. So looks like they're still going, even losing no wicket, they're still looking to score quite quickly.
Yeah, look, it was a pretty even power play. At 7 off and over, 5, 9, 11, 8, 6. So they've been able to score pretty freely off most overs. They lost those couple of wickets in the last 2 overs. It probably, the coach Glenn Rowland would have probably rather just lose the one and still have a established opening batsman still in there. So they have to rebuild. But look, I think they'd be relatively happy with the 46 runs, and they got batting depth. So if they can consolidate now to keep building on from that, I think that's still pretty well reasonably placed.
They still appear to have that momentum, which is important, despite the loss of 2 wickets, and it looks as though there will be a change in the bowling from the Paddington end. SM Rahman picked up a wicket in the Thunder Conference final. Nice catch by Watling. What about that wicket?
And very interesting here, straight away, 5 fielders out of the circle to McCabe.
Rahman over the wicket to McCabe on the back foot and working to the onside, but fielded by short mid-wicket.
It'll be interesting to see what they do here. It looks like from that ball they're going to try and get him to hit to the long side. All these guys on the leg side here have come in 4 or 5 metres off the boundary. I think they want him to hit there and try and protect that. But yeah, straight away they recognise the danger, and I think if they can get him early, they'll be very happy and they'll probably put him ahead.
So Rahman in again to McCabe on the front foot and driving down the ground. Made that well away from his body, but safely home.
Yeah, nice and straight there.
So Cohen will take strike.
It's good to hear the crowd.
Yeah.
Crowd's getting right into this, which is outstanding. And a lot of people, like we mentioned before, both teams have lost their finals, have hung around here to take in the atmosphere and make it a good country day for them. And so it's good to see.
Rahman continues over the wicket, this time to Cohen on the back foot, pulling. But he'll find that man in the deep.
I think you'll find, Matt, as the night progresses, as the semi-finalists who are hanging around for the final, I think as they enjoy or celebrate the season they had, I think it could get even a little bit louder, I think.
No early flight tomorrow morning?
No, I don't know about that, but the good thing is they've all made a plan B. I've spoken to them, they've all got a plan B.
Brilliant. Rahman into McCabe on the front foot, firmly pushes. It's fielded by mid-off, but picks up a single.
Plan B is very, very important.
Very important.
Very important.
Anytime you go out, make sure you've got a plan B.
For sure.
And how good are the ads?
Excellent.
The Nathan Lyon ads.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Good to see.
Yeah, and great supporters of this competition. So we thank them immensely for what they're doing.
Definitely. Rahman over the wicket to Cohen. It's short. He plays that pull shot again from well outside the off stump, but finds the man at mid-on, deep mid-on. Just picks up the single. 50 mark brought up for the rush. So, although just the 4 singles conceded, this is an important over for the rush, just to get things back on the track they were looking at with the openers. This is full, slower ball, well bowled.
Yeah, very well bowled there. He saw McCabe looking to go at him. He just the slower ball there, and now good over there. Rahman start with 4 off, so a good start by him, just mixing his pace up and the length.
So 2 for 50 after 7 overs. Did well in the end, McCabe, to readjust to that slower ball, but it was fantastic delivery by Rahman, and it looks as though Mern will continue from the Randwick end of the ground. As I welcome Marty Garoni back to the microphone.
Thank you.
Good evening.
Evening. Beautiful evening here in Sydney, and good noise, as Tabsy said, good noise from the crowd out there. And I think the Rush will be fairly happy with their start. Bit disappointed to lose those couple of wickets at the back end of the power play. So a little bit of rebuilding now, but also I don't think the Aces would be too upset with the state of the game at the moment.
I thought Mern was continuing, but he just bowled that 1 over spell. And Jack Allen coming into the attack from the Randwick end. Young leg spinner. And in he comes for his first delivery. Throws it up there, skids it on, and it's defended by Cohen off the back foot out to the offside.
Very impressed with Allen's control in the first game. He was able to hit the spot, really contain the batsman. No one was really able to get after him.
In he comes again over the wicket to Cohen, who's sweeping, and he's found the gap, and he'll find the boundary rope down towards fine leg. So a much needed boundary The score moves along to 2 for 54.
Commentators cursed there, Berkey.
Yep.
Probably the first loose ball he's bowled all day, and a very nice sweep shot.
I was just going to let that one go, Gary.
Yeah, thanks. I think Ben will probably try and take him square.
All right, how will he respond? The young leg spinner bowled really well in the Thunder Conference final. In he comes to Cohen on the back foot again, trying to cut. Got a bit close to him. It's well kept by Watling.
Push that one through a little bit quicker. And again, he mixed his pace up really well in the semi-final, and let's hope that he does the same thing again here in the final.
And he comes again to Cohen. Cohen down the pitch. Gives that a thump. But it's cut off by the fielder down at long on. One more to the score.
One thing we've noticed with the wicket here today, there hasn't been a lot of turn. It's probably the players have said it's a little bit slow, but there's not a lot of turn. A lot of grass on the wicket. There's no doubt about that. Just SCG's had the reputation of being a big turner, but we certainly haven't seen. I don't think there's been many spinners who've really turned it at all today.
No, I think Allen actually got his wrong and to turn more than his leg spinner in the semi-final. So interesting to see if he brings it out against the left-hander here.
See it a lot with leg spinners these days, though. Allen this time into McCabe. He's sweeping uppishly, but it just falls short of Rahman. That fine leg. So one more to the total. 2 for 56. Cohen 9 from 8. McCabe 4 from 7. Allen's conceded 6 runs from his first over. He's got 1 delivery left. And he comes again to Cohen. Gives that a little more air, and that's a stumping opportunity missed, I would imagine, by Watling. Got himself into all sorts there, did Cohen. Tied himself in knots as we see a replay. Came down the track and then decided to sweep, and he slipped. And, yeah, clean take. It would have been a close call.
Actually got back very quickly.
He did.
He spun right around and got his bat back in, so probably might have been safe even if he did take that one cleanly. But a really good over there from Allen. He went for the one boundary, but a lot of dot balls starting to build up again. And I think that's the key for the Rush is that they've got the boundary, but then they gave up 3 dot balls in that over. They really need to be trying to score off more and more deliveries each over now as the innings progresses.
And as the sun goes down, a warm welcome to Luke Minor to the microphone.
Evening, gentlemen. Evening to the viewers at home.
So Rahman will continue from the Paddington end. 8 overs have been bowled in this final so far, and the Rush are 2 for 56. Rahman to McCabe on the back foot, defending, can't find the gap on the offside.
Just noticed throughout the day, gentlemen, that the boundary riders are starting to creep a bit further off the fence. The earlier semi-finals seen a lot of 2s, especially out wide. We know it's a big boundary out there to the leg side, but the fielders are starting to creep probably a bit more than 5 off the fence now.
Rahman into McCabe, and it's shorter length on the pads. McCabe working down to that man at short, fine leg. And another single.
Dots and ones are a win here for the Aces at the moment. They're very happy to concede the 1 run and hopefully build a few dots. So they're doing a really good job of just clawing this back, as we saw in the semi-final previously. The team got off to a bit of a flyer in the power play, and then they were clawed back by some really good bowling and fielding by the fielding side. Rahman
to Cohen this time. Again, he swipes across the line, but gets plenty of bat on it. Finds deep mid-wicket. And adds another run to the total. So that brings McCabe back onto strike.
Rahman's bowling really well now. He's not giving them any opportunity to get under it. He's skidding the ball through pretty quickly, actually. He's bowling a really good line and making it difficult for the batsman to get underneath it and lift it over the infield.
In comes to McCabe. That's full on leg stump. He's put that in the air and it'll fall safely. The man coming in from long on couldn't quite reach it. Didn't time it at all there, McCabe. Perhaps a little bit fortunate.
Can really feel the pressure starting to build here. They had a great start in the power play, and it's pretty much been pulled back to 3 or 4 and over since that time. So you can just sense the pressure starting to build here on the Rush.
And
Really
Marty, you were
nice
just
little
indicating that it was a change of pace. I was going to mention that. Rahman into Cohen, defends. He's been bowling with good pace, but he's got those subtle changes of pace.
Yeah, very, very intelligent young bowler, and really showing all his skills here at the moment. Bringing out all the tricks, and that was a really good slower ball, that ball previously that nearly brought about the wicket, and probably a bit lucky for the fielder, he actually got a boot on it after he misfielded it and kicked it back towards the stumps.
So Rahman over the wicket. It's a Cohen. It's well wide of off stump, and it will be called as such by umpire Glazebrook. So just got a little wrong there, Rahman.
They've probably given up more extras in this innings than they did in the entire game last game. So just a little bit of nerves probably creeping in a little bit, and just trying to finish out the over with a wide, fuller delivery.
Rahman, this one's better, short of a length outside off stump, but Cohen's on the back foot, cutting behind square. Be fielded by the man at third man.
Just the 5 off the over. I think they'd be very happy with that, the Aces, and really starting to squeeze them in these middle overs again. So just making sure that they keep it as tight as they possibly can through the middle.
So as we edge ever closer to the 10th over and halfway mark of this first innings of the Plan B Regional Bash final, it's the Central Coast 2 for 61 after captain Peter Galichin won the toss and elected to bat first. So I will ask you, both of you gentlemen, who you think has got the advantage at this stage?
I think you'd have to say the Aces are probably slightly in front at the moment, but if they can get a bit of a wriggle on here in the next few overs, then they're probably going to be right back in it, the rush team. But yeah, the Aces have really clamped the screws on, like they were 40, 45, 46 off the power play, and they've really tightened it up in the last 3 overs.
So a dot to start the next over for Jack Allen. Down the wicket goes Cohen. He's got plenty of that. A sweep shot, and it's one bounce ball.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that, Martin. Got off to a strong start, the rush, but really being dragged back by the Aces here through the middle overs. Traditionally we'd be looking at 10 and over from this point on, but as we've seen on today's surface, that's been all but impossible. So if we look at 8 and over from this point, I think 140 is going to be a real competitive score if they can get there.
2 for 65 at this point. In comes Allen again to Cohen. He sweeps again, and again one bounce over the rope. So consecutive boundaries for Cohen. And he looks to be enjoying the bowling of Jack Allen at the moment. He's on a roll.
He's hit them both to the identical spot. The fielder moved a little bit further to his left then, and probably just needs to go probably another 5 or 10 metres to his left, and I reckon the next one might go straight down his throat.
Backward of square, those sweep shots. What will happen with this delivery? It's Fuller, but again he tries the sweep shot. I think he's got a little more of that, but it's straight along the ground and 4 more.
Beautiful batting this. He's picked his spot, and Allen's delivering him the balls consistently that he can keep hitting there. He is throwing them up. That one was a full toss, so it made it a little bit easier for him, but he probably needs to just drag it back a little bit and put him under a little bit more pressure.
Allen into Cohen again. This time he's pulling. And it's fielded by deep mid-wicket. So the sequence of boundaries comes to an end.
And that was probably the worst ball of the 4, but he didn't manage to get that one into a gap. So
needs to stick to the sweep shot, I think. So he's moved to 24 from 17 deliveries has Cohen. Brings McCabe on to strike, just 6 from 10 at the moment. This one's down the leg side again, and unfortunately McCabe just couldn't quite get enough of that.
Must have been a real tight, wide call down the leg side there.
I think the keeper was indicating that probably came off the batsman, but the umpire didn't agree.
Surprised me a little bit. Allen into McCabe, and he's sweeping. And he's found the gap as well out through square leg. So the 4th boundary of this over. 3 of them to Cohen, 1 to McCabe, and the score rockets along to 2 for 79 after 10.
18 off the over. That's probably the biggest over we've seen today. It's a really good over there for the rush, and some really good sweep shots, and really setting them up nicely for the back end of 10 overs.
Very interesting field they had to McCabe there for that last ball too. They had 3 out on the leg side and 1 in the ring, but only having 4 out on the leg side with the ball turning into the pads of the left-hander. Always risky, and took full advantage on that last ball.
The run rate's ballooned up to 7.9. I've noticed there's a lot of magenta in this room, boys. Not seeing the Thunder represented. Is there any Thunder representatives here?
I think Taberner's decided to don the Central West Wranglers shirt today as opposed to his traditional lime green Thunder shirt.
I think he's reaching his bag for it. This ball has been skied high into the air, but just drops in the outfield, and they'll come through for a couple more. So Cohen moves along to 26, and this score is he's getting his Thunder colours out now. That's going to make Matty Ellis a happy man, no doubt, watching the live stream somewhere.
He hung his colours to the Wranglers very early on in the day, and he's now turning his tune to the Thunder and hopefully backing in the ACT Aces to get the job done here this evening.
Another tight single there by Cohen. He picks up 1 to go to 27, and the last couple of overs, lads, the game's just changed a little bit again. We've seen it throughout the whole tournament in today's play, and that run rate getting up towards 8-0, which is probably where the Rush wanted at this stage. Rahman to McCabe. McCabe driving uppishly out through the offside, but safely into the gap for 1.
Yeah, this innings has certainly ebbed and flowed. Rush certainly got the better of the early stages of the power play, and then the Aces really started to pull them back, but that double figures off the last over has really started to get momentum back the Rush's way, and we'll see if they can carry that over the next couple of overs.
Rahman's into his 3rd over here, and he's doing a great job at none for 13.
This ball slapped down the ground. He stretches the left paw out there, trying to pull off what been a miraculous caught and bowled there, Rahman, but again just keeping to the singles, so they haven't been able to come with any of those big shots in this over. 5 coming from the first 4 balls.
I think that's one of those ones when they whack back at you like that as a bowler that you stick your hand out and hope that it's nowhere near it sometimes.
Yeah, you can't
you
can't exactly pull it back, can you, Marty? You might get a bit of stick from your teammates. Rahman in. This ball, a bit of a thick outside edge as he pushes this backward a point for 1 more.
Again, he's done a really good job here for his team. Rahman, he's keeping it. It's been a while since he's gone for a boundary, but he's really keeping it to just ones mostly, and he's mixing his pace up. He's using his change of pace really well and doing a great job here for the Aces.
He's got a couple of balls at the back of the hand and rolling his fingers over the seam. What will he do on the last ball of the over? It's short and it's wide, and he's missed out on one there as Cohen has tried to flay that one through the offside. Not to be. End of the over. 6 runs coming from it. Cohen 28 from 21, and McCabe 12 from 13. 2 for 85 after 11 overs. 9 overs left in this innings. Run rate of 7.7. The wickets to fall. Taylor caught Bartlett, bowled Mern for 19. Cornwall caught Rahman, bowled Bartlett for 21. And Cohen and McCabe building a pretty solid partnership here as dusk descends on the SCG. The floodlights starting to slowly take effect here.
I think what the Rush are doing really well, as they did in the other game, is they've got one batsman that's going, and they've got the other batsman's just hanging in there. And then when a wicket falls, then the roles change. So McCabe was the aggressor in the first game, and he's just playing a support role here while Cohen's doing a great job getting on with the run rate. So good batting in partnerships here.
We know that McCabe could launch if they wanted him to do so in the last maybe 4 or 5 overs. Still plenty of cricket left in this one. 9 overs remaining as Bartlett continues, and McCabe's just pushing out onto the offside or for a single.
They're doing a good job here, the Aces, just trying to mix up the bowlers, making sure that they can't get a sider on any particular bowler. And it's probably contributed to the ebb and flow of nature of this innings. Some overs have gone for some runs, and sometimes the Aces have been able to pull it back and get on top.
So Cohen faces up here, and Cohen plays over the top of that one. Maybe just beaten by a lack of pace there like he was in the last ball of the last over.
Bartlett's a very, very cagey bowler. He's been around for a long time, knows how to mix his pace up, knows how to bend the back occasionally. He might have put a bit of extra effort into that one. I think that was thrown before he got his bat through. So
this ball ricochets off the pad down the leg side for 1. That should go down as leg buys. The Central Coast Rush will care too much. They'll just add another run to the total.
Yeah, this innings is shaping up much like their semi-final. They were sort of 2 down for a similar amount of runs at a similar stage there in the semi-final, and with McCabe going, they really put their foot down in that second half of the semi-final.
And beaten outside the off stump again. So this is a really nice over from Bartlett.
I think this is a really good fight back after the over that went for 18. It was only, I think there was only 6 off the previous over, and so far off 4 balls there's only a couple of runs. So you know, Bartlett needs to get out of this over with only a couple more singles, and that'll be putting them right back in the driver's seat.
Into McCabe, this one down the leg side. He just lost control with that one. Maybe looking for a little bit extra effort. And slides it down the leg sides. That one will need to be re-bowled. And boys, we've seen this a few times in the matches today where the wides happen, and the last ball, the 7th ball, the over has gone for a 4 or a 6 or a 3, and they've really cashed in. So 3 off the over so far. Bartlett in. This ball is slapped out onto the onside. It takes 1 bounce over the rope for 4. That was extremely well timed. Hasn't really got going so far in this Dick McCabe, but maybe that's a shot that gets his innings going. Slapped across the line and was in the air for some time, Marty, and he picks up 4.
And that's a shot we saw quite a bit in the semi-final. He's reached out, dragged it to the leg side. Plenty of gaps out there, and he's hit it beautifully.
So last ball of the over. 7 coming from it so far. Bartlett in, and this ball is defended out onto the offside. So 12 overs gone, 2 for 92. Cohen 28. McCabe a runner ball 17. And Bartlett finishes his 2nd over. He has figures of 1 for 13. That run rate 7.7. Partnership for the 3rd wicket currently at 49, and they're in a very good position at the moment. That run rate just below 8. Still 8 wickets in the shed. Final 8 overs if they were to all to add 60, which isn't outside the realms of possibility. That's kind of getting them around that 150 score. Difficult to chase under lights. Of course, a lot of these guys probably wouldn't have a great amount of experience of chasing or batting under lights.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that wicket plays for 2 reasons. One, you mentioned not playing a lot under lights, but also with the hot weather and the humidity we've had in Sydney, it might actually just quicken up the wicket. It might actually be a little bit better for batting tonight.
So Rahman continues. He's got none for 15 as this ball is hammered out onto the onside, out to deep mid-wicket. Just a single there for Cohen, who they've been able to just pull back his rein a little bit. He was timing the ball and hitting a couple of really nice shots before I came into the commentary booth, so he's been pulled back. He's 29, McCabe 17.
They've just managed to curtail his aggression a little bit after that big over that he took off Allen previously, and Rahman's doing a really good job here, and hopefully he can close out his 4 overs.
Rahman pitches up outside the off stump, and they ease a single there, and the crowd starting to get into it, getting some good vocals down there in the members and ladies stand, mainly the members stand here. So good to see fans that have stuck around and supporting their local team and enjoying a day and an evening here at the SCG.
I think to Luke's point, they really need to be trying to target that 8 to 10 and over from here on in. They've got wickets in the shed, and they really need to start going right from now, probably.
Yeah, Rahman again dropped short, but he's got protection deep on that offside. Bowling to his field at the moment is the right arm quick.
Just seems one of those bowlers, Rahman, that you can't just quite get hold of. He's just real subtle with his changes of pace and rolling his fingers across it, but it just means he's one of those bowlers you just can't get under and hit back-to-back boundaries.
Comes over the wicket here, and this ball is playing a miss. So just trying to get that length delivery that he can get inside and pull around the corner, but misses out off that delivery.
It's really well bowled again. Big swipe there from McCabe. So they're really just not picking his changes of pace at the moment. He's doing a fantastic job here.
So 3 singles and a dot. 2 balls left in the over. Rahman full outside the off stump. This ball crunched out through extra cover, but again picks out the man in the deep. So even when there has been balls there, they've given either Cohen or McCabe a license to throw the arms at. Haven't been able to find the gaps with those sweepers in the deep, and that's a credit to the ACT Aces field placings. So they have one big shot to end the over here. Cohen on strike on 30. Rahman steaming in. This ball is hammered beautifully all the way into the stands for 6. A couple of rows back. Just got a nice side of that one. Short of a length or middle and leg, and just swung through the line to Cohen. Big strike, and it becomes a good over there for the Central Coast boys, getting 10 from it. Brings up the 100 as well. 7 overs remaining, 2 for 102. Cohen 36, McCabe 19.
Bit of a disappointing end there from Rahman. He's bowled 4 really good overs, and that's just a good shot. He's bowled a similar delivery to what he's been bowling previously, and that's just a really good shot. Smacked over mid-wicket, and that's a beautiful 6.
It looks like on that delivery he's just trying to get out of his spell with it pace on, and as we've seen, the pace on today has often gone to the fence.
So Flores is going to come into the attack for the first time in this innings. Desperate to try and break this partnership that has yielded 59 runs unbeaten so far for the Central Coast Rush. Now that they've got over that 100 mark, I'm sure they would love to push on to at least 150, and anything over that they will definitely take as bonus runs. If they can have a few more strikes like we saw from Cohen off the last ball, the last over, then they could be scoring a darn sight more than 150. Let's see if Flores can pull things back. Right arm medium, this ball pulled around the corner, but it will be a dot ball as Rahman does the fielding there at short fine leg.
Short, quick run up the indoor cricket from the Flores. They all play for the Australian indoor cricket team, so very strong, and gets through the crease pretty quick.
He comes again wide of the off stump. This ball eased out into the deep, uppishly played, but well away from the fielder, but only gets the single. So a good start here from Flores, again bowling to the field that's been set for him. Pushing that fielder that was at deep square leg, probably more position between square leg and mid-wicket. That mid-on moving out to a wideish mid-wicket position. Flores in, hits straight back to the bowler. So this has been a good over here from the medium pacer. Just the 1 run from these first 3 balls.
A good start here to his bowling spell from Flores, so just needs to get out of the over now. Still trying to get more dots than ones. That's what the target is for the bowling team.
And this ball is hammered. It's a beautiful shot going out towards the boundary. And it might just win the race. No, tucked back in beautifully on the fence there. Good piece of fielding, and they'll come back for 3. Got plenty behind that one. Ollie and Abel out there doing the fielding.
You certainly don't want to get too straight to Cohen, do you, gentlemen? If you've got a bit of pace off the ball, he's happy to get down and sweep you through that square leg, backward square leg region.
It's actually Reece Healy racing around the boundary there to knock that one back in. Really good piece of fielding.
So 39 to Cohen. McCabe back on strike on 20, 2 for 106. Flores in on leg stump, tucked around the corner. There's a bit of a mix-up. There might be a run out. There will be. And so McCabe departs for 20. No communication between the batters. Took off as soon as he hit it, McCabe, and got halfway down the track and realised his batting partner was not going to be taking that run. So they get a breakthrough after a 63-run partnership for the 3rd wicket. Important breakthrough for the ACT Aces, which reduces the Central Coast now to 3 for 106, Luke.
That's a massive wicket for the Aces. If you think back to the semi-final, was really the time when McCabe started to launch and take the game away from the Chargers in that semi-final. So that's a huge wicket there for the Aces. We've seen all day it's been very, very difficult to start for new batters as well. So it'll be interesting to see how the next couple of overs pan out.
Yeah, Cohen's still there on 39, so he's going to be the linchpin for both sides when you think about it. Obviously, for Central Coast, if he can stay in until the end of the innings and get 50 plus, they could be pushing towards 150. Whereas if he's removed by the ACT Aces, then they might be able to pull this score back to maybe around 135, 140. But good pressure built by Flores. Only been that one shot, that hoik onto the leg side where they picked up 3 that he really lost his line and length. Apart from that, he's been pretty much spot on and been cramping these batters for room. So Murphy, the new batsman, and he'll be on strike. Last ball of the 14th over here. So Flores coming over the wicket. Murphy, that's almost been chopped in half. That's a good delivery. Beatty Moore ends up, and that's a good end to a very good over. 4 runs from it and a wicket. 3 for 106 with 6 overs to go. Cohen on 39, Murphy for naught. And Steve McCabe, the last man out, run out by Ninneman for 20. So 6 overs left, run rate of 7.6. It's going to be an intriguing final 6 overs.
Yeah, definitely. I think, they're on target. That run out probably wasn't ideal for them after a 63-run partnership, and especially being McCabe, who showed what he could do in the last game. But Cohen's now the key. Like we saw in the last game, they wanted someone to bat to the end, and I think they're going to hope Cohen can do that. So just gives a little bit of a spring in the step for the ACT Aces now. They're able to maybe put some pressure on Murphy now, get some dot balls up, and maybe bring that second wicket into play.
So Cohen will be on strike. Mern back in the attack. He has figures of 1 for 6. And just looking at the field, they've got 2 men deep down the ground, so a long on and a long off. They've got a deep mid-wicket, a deep third man on the fence, and also a deep cover. A sweeper out on the offside. Mern in. This ball swiped across the line, and they get through for a single.
Good to see as Matt's joined us for another stint in commentary that he's now rocking
a
electric green Thunder polo and also the Thunder hat as well.
Yeah, had to get the Thunder a mention here. Got to remember too, it's 2-1 in the finals for Thunder. So
this ball punched out, square the wicket out through backward points. A good shot, well timed. Diving stop on the boundary, won't be able to reel it in, and so Murphy, second ball, looks like he's been in for about 15 or 20 overs. Just a beautiful square punch out through point. He picks up a much needed boundary there for the Central Coast. 3 for 111.
Yeah, you've got to remember the Thunder 2-1 in the finals overall. The Border Bullets and Arana Outlaws, of course, have tasted victory before Newcastle Blasters last year got one back for the Sixers.
Comes this ball pitched up and a play and a miss outside the off stumps. Good comeback there from Mern, just altering his length.
Might be interesting to see this night Dew might coming in. There's been a few times now that the batsmen have been hurried up. The ball looks like it's coming through a lot quicker. So maybe the Dew or the night air's coming through now and quickening this wicket up like you suggested earlier, Luke.
Yeah, so it certainly looks that way, and just might mean they might need a couple of balls, but once they get their eye, it should make stroke play a lot easier than we've seen earlier today.
Which might mean that 150 might be in play. The scores of 130 wasn't enough this morning.
Mern in, pitched up and driven out to point. They'll take a quick single again, so looking to at least at the very minimum get a single off every ball. Brings Cohen back on strike. He's on 40.
Yeah, and I think the ACT is starting to look at that. They're pitching the ball a lot more up now. They're not looking for that short ball like they did at the start of the innings.
Adapted pretty well. Mern, this ball is swiped over the top. That's a good shot. Couple of bounces into the rope for 4. That's going to help their cause. Cohen goes to 44, just short and sat up, and that was easily helped around the corner there from Cohen. Nice stroke.
Yeah, we're absolutely starting to see them being able to use the pace of the ball. A lot more balls going to third man and behind the wicket, where earlier in the day the main productive zone was sort of down the wicket. So you got to think as the dew starts to settle in, the lights take effect. It's probably only going to get quicker. So it'd be real key at the start of the ACT innings as well.
So 10 off this over. Last ball of the 15th over. Mern in, and this ball has hit him on the pad. This is close, and it's gone. LBW. Cohen departs for 44. Big breakthrough there for the ACT Aces. They get the prize scalp of Cohen for 44 from 31. And they lose their 4th wicket now. 4 for 116. 5 overs to go. I'm going to depart the commentary box and let the boys digest that. And Roy McKinlay is going to come in for the final 5.
Yeah, Robbie McKinlay in the back of the box had his finger up when they went up. And I think looking at the replay there that umpire Glazebrook has got that one spot on. That's canninging into middle stump. That's full straight. Hit him in front, and I think umpire Robbie McKinlay has got that
trout,
one right.
Mate. Salmon trout, they say that is out. Dead, set, flush. But a very, very good innings there from Benny Cohen, 44. There's a lot of depth in this side. Gary Birkinshaw, who's also joined us. And look, the wicket fell, but at 4 for 116, 30 balls left. A run and ball takes them up to just under 150, and I think they can up that. Anything's possible here. Yeah, you're right there. And Peter Gallichan's now come in and joined Hayden Murphy. So I think we'll see a bit of a different mix with the batting. Watch for some running between wickets, turning ones into 2. Gallichan did that well in the first game, and Hayden Murphy's also quick between wickets. So it should be some exciting running between wickets if they can both get in and stay there for a while.
The interesting thing here too is like at the start of this inning, lost 2 wickets in a row. They've lost 2 wickets in a row. We've got 2 new batsmen in. Murphy's only faced the 4 ball, and of course Galichan hasn't faced any yet.
Tim Flores will resume from the Randwick end. He bowled very well in that first over. He just gives up a single there for Murphy.
And this is a different wicket to bat on like these guys would have faced. Well, Murphy didn't get a bat in that first game, but it's a different wicket for Galichan to come in on. It's a little bit quicker, it looks like. ACT are looking to hunt now. I'm surprised they haven't brought a few fielders in here. They've still only got the 4 in the circle. Thought they might have brought a couple in, but try to limit the damage a bit.
I think that pace Flores delivers, that nagging medium pace. A few slower balls here and there. Just the man for this occasion. He comes in now, and it'll be another single to Galichan. He's off the mark.
Yeah, that's what we'll see. We'll see a lot of that. A lot of hitting, running. They get it through the infield. They'll look to turn it into twos. And look, a run a ball from here gets them to 148.
Yeah, if you can mix in 2 or 3 boundaries over another 4 boundaries, and they're going to go over 160, which will be the highest score of the day as Flores bowls again now. And is caught behind, is he? No. A swing and a miss, play and a miss, and the keeper missed it. They all missed it.
Looking at Flores there, I think he thinks he might have got an edge onto that.
I reckon it might have been a tickle. Well, the Bar TV boys replay might give a little bit more evidence around that, Gary.
Yep.
Here we go. Talk us through this one.
Yep, so there. Oh, yeah, the head going back. Dead giveaway there, Robbie.
Batsman had a bit of a glance, didn't he?
Yeah.
The boy from Goulburn might have put it down. Watling. Here we go again now, and they'll make him pay now. He thrashes one behind point for 4, does Murphy, and he goes up to 10, and it could be a very costly drop.
Yeah, this time of the innings for sure, to be able to keep getting the new batsman coming in, and there he just freed his arms outside that. He's very strong in square of the wicket on the offside, and he's shown that twice with 2 very well hit boundaries.
Yeah, and again, evidence, a bit more pace in that wicket, been able to flay that one behind point. So 4 for 122. Here comes Flores, and this time he plays and misses again outside off stump. Matty Taberner, you've got something for us, I think.
Yeah, just having a look at the scores from last year in this day, in the finals day, and I've just noticed here Wagga Wagga Sloggers played a runner Outlaws in the day game, 124 to 127, 8-9 wickets gone. After this ball, I'll explain what happened in the Plan B final.
You're teasing our viewers, Matthew.
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere. Here comes Flores, bowls now, and Murphy punches it, and it's well saved in the covers and prevents any further scoring there. So 4 for 123, Matthew. That is 16 overs completed. All right, finish off what we were doing there, mate. I like the look of this.
So like in the Thunder final last year, which was the afternoon game, 124 played 127. We look at the night game in the final. Newcastle Blasters played a runner Outlaws, and the game was 169 to 153. So we did see the scoring go up throughout the day, and I think it might be something to do with the night, the dew, wicket faster, which is really interesting. Puts things, because I noticed very few teams have had a fine leg in today.
Yeah.
And we noticed in that last over from this end at the Paddington end that a lot went down that way. So we'll have to start thinking about maybe putting that fine leg in and maybe bringing a deep cover in or a third man in.
Well, the skipper has returned. Ethan Bartlett will bowl now, and it's a wild swing there from Murphy. No connection.
Great contrast in these two sides, don't the bowling? Like the Aces have been predominantly seam up.
Yep.
The Central Coast, they'll be predominantly slow bowling, taking the pace off it. So it'll be really interesting to see how the Aces go about it with the bat.
Bartlett now bowls again to Murphy, and again it's full outside off stump. Murphy just hits it out to deep cover for a single. He's a good operator, Ethan Bartlett. He would have been a little bit disappointed his first over. He got a wicket, but he coughed up 13 runs.
Yeah, just the short ball, just not his.
No.
He started with a short ball and got dispatched, and that's not his bowling.
Nearly knocked Bruce Whitehouse over in the members' stand there. Bartlett bowls again to Galichan. And Galichan, good shot, cut shot. He's got it through the gap. He'll beat third man, and it will run down for 4 runs. So very clever shot there from the skipper. He goes along to 5, just off the 2 balls. And 4 for 128. This is really building into something special here.
Yeah, definitely. I think that just shows the wicket getting quicker here. Does third man fine leg have to get a little bit finer? We notice here that the third man's still very square, and that's gone very fine with a bit more pace.
Beautiful footwork there from Galichan. It gets one, a full one on leg stump. It'll be a wide, so It's a win again there for the Coast. But, yeah, Gary, just that shot from Galachan, it was clever, but, gee, the footwork was beautiful.
Yeah.
Still shows in T20 cricket, you know, very important, that technical aspect of the game, so important.
Yeah. And one thing the Central Coast have done really well is they've been able to get out of overs with a boundary or a 3 every over.
Bartlett again. That's a Yorker. Might have been an inside edge on that one. Umpire Tabernar went to the finger, and he just pulled it back.
I don't think there was much finger coming here. That looked leg side. I think Robbie with his holster.
Well, he just
He's
went
doing
for
it.
another finger, which is not great on TV, and you can't see in the commentary box, and he gave me the message, so...
Tell you what, mate, the aces is really coming out of you at the moment, isn't it?
Oh.
You big aces man you
Oh,
are.
yeah. I'm a great Canberra man. Here goes Bartlett now, and he gives up a single here. So, yeah, I've spent a bit of time in Canberra of late, Gary, and I'm really starting to like the place, and it's appropriate today that I wear their mantle, I think.
Yeah, we're going to have to move that statue
Yep.
from Holbrook's going to have to go outside of Phillip now.
Put it in the middle of Lake Burley Griffin.
There's no doubt you don't put Robbie McKinlay in a submarine. You put him on a bandwagon.
Yeah.
He can find a bandwagon.
Very clever, Matthew. Here comes Bartlett. Bowls. A lot of the comedy's starting to really come through now, which is good at this hour.
So you got away with that one there.
He did.
That was full toss, knee-high full toss outside off stump. And
I
yeah,
just
you got
lost
away
my
with
way a bit there.
it. I can understand, mate. You're getting a bit excited. I could really get a hold of that.
So 17 over mark down, and Mr. Central Coast Gary Birkinshaw, 4 for 130. Give us a target. You were very close last time with your target. I'm going to ask you too, Matty.
151.
Geez, you go under par.
No, I just studied it. And,
You like to promise not a much and deliver better, don't you? What about
That's
you,
my
Tabsy?
life.
You're an accountant. You'll be pretty tight on this one. How about you?
Oh, I'm on the ACT Aces, so I'm hoping. What is it? I caught for 6 wickets in an over in the last game
You
against
did.
the Wranglers.
Yeah, you're nearly thrown off air. Keep going.
Oh, I'm going to go in the 140s. I'm going 140s. I reckon 3 overs, 5 and over. No, that's a bit under. I reckon they're going to get close to 160. 10 and over. 10 and over, pretty comfortable, I think.
Yeah, 158 for me. Here we go again, and well, it's got to be a run out of the bowlers then. A throw, and it's missed. Now they'll get one through on the overthrow. So always a run in it, I thought, and that's why it's panned out.
The My Cricket prediction 153, and they're very rarely wrong.
They are very rarely wrong,
Very
yeah.
smart people there.
Yep, there's some good operators in My Cricket.
I'll tell you what, Luke Murphy's doing a great job with the live scoring. So if you want to have a look at the scoreboard or anything like that, apart from the TV here from Bar TV, make sure you get onto My Cricket to have a look.
Moon comes in again as a swing and a miss there from Murphy. And yeah, give Luke a ring anytime, any hour. He's always available.
Yeah,
We've got the Cricket Australia hotline. We've also got Luke Murphy's hotline. He's always happy to hear from his punters out there.
That'll be up on screen in a sec.
Yes.
And just remember too, if you score a match using the My Cricket scoring app, you can go in the draw to win an iPad. So a great chance for clubs to win iPads in New South Wales.
Moon now bowls, and everyone's a winner here today. Good shot behind point, but the sweeper will pick it up.
Just trying to hit the ball a little bit too hard, I think, Murphy, outside off stump there. I think just maintain his shape, just put bat on ball and should use the pace just to get the ball past the bloke at the backward point there, and he'll probably get a better return.
I wonder what 1-800 Luke does bring up if you phone it. Someone's going to try it there now. I know they're trying right now. I would. Mern comes in and he goes straight back to him. Very well bowled. Galachan couldn't put that one away, so it's good over this, boys. Only 2 or 4 deliveries.
I'm sure Matty Ellis will tweet us in.
Yeah.
He'll be all over
Yeah.
that. He loves looking at things like that. He loves the initials. He loves looking at different stats. I reckon Matty Ellis will tweet in what 1-800 Luke gives us, and we'll make sure we let everyone know out there.
Probably even the message, the recorded message.
Here comes Mern. He bowls and Galachan hits it straight to cover. Chance for a run out. No. And I'll tell you, if you ever want to really tease and play along with Matty Ellis, is ask him a question or ask for a stat on a Saturday, because he can't answer you. Saturday's his social media Sabbath.
Really?
Yep. So it just pains him. So you'll get an answer about 1 minute past midnight, early Sunday morning, and he'll reply back to you. Here comes Mern, and an interesting shot here from Galachan. He's sort of lobbed it over mid-wicket with a rather audacious-looking attempt there. And it's a good over
Really
from
good
Mern.
Great over by
3 runs off it, and under par Birkinshaw. I think you might be on the money here again. It's 4 for 133 with 2 overs left.
Yeah, they'll do well to take. I'll take 151 from here, without a doubt. So 133, a good finish for the last 2 overs. I think they're still pretty well placed. The rush, there's no doubt about that.
You certainly
Or,
wish
or
you were in the building game.
Or the crushers, you called them.
The crush. I was just so happy for him. I had to call him Crush. Pity you weren't in the building game, Berkey, with the way you quote under par. It's nice.
Nice, isn't it?
All right, here's Ethan Bartlett. He'll bowl the penultimate over. He comes in now, and it's on a good length, and it's hit back. Oh, Bartlett misfields. The bit of a mix-up with the batters. Chance for a run-out, and it's not out. So it wasn't great cricket there, but it panned out okay. It was a single in the end.
One
Four
thing
for 134.
One thing we saw in the Thunder Conference final is how ACT finished off the innings. Wranglers could not get them away in the last 3 overs, and it's coming again here. Last over went for 3 again.
Yep.
Bartlett here's hit that Yorker. Scotty Moon will probably bowl the last over, I'm tipping, and both of these guys are very good at hitting those Yorkers.
To be honest, Tabsy, I thought your Wranglers struggled to get away most of the innings.
Jesus.
You cop that one.
Really?
How's the Border Bullets going?
That should Bartlett bowls now, and it's another swing and a miss from Murphy. So it really has tied things down a bit here.
Yeah, trying to hit it too hard again there, Robbie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Border Bullets look good today out at the SCG. I'm sure there's someone here with the Border Bullets. How do they go?
Well, they are a previous winner of this title, Matthew.
There was someone from the Border Bullets here earlier, but he's actually changed.
Yeah, he's now moved to Canberra. Susan Lay. Oh, good shot down deep mid-off. Our former sports minister, of course, from Albury, as they'll get 2 for that. And they might even get 3, but no chance of there. Galachan's almost run to the where we up in the commentary box. Big follow through there, just 2 runs.
I think we're better off going to the cricket now instead of talking about
yeah,
politics.
We'll work our way there now.
Yeah, we'll work back. Yeah.
9 balls left in innings. Yeah. Scores 4 for 136.
I reckon I should have stuck to me 145. I said in the last game that might be odds on here.
What'd you go here, Berkey?
151.
Okay, 151. Here we go. Bartlett bowls, and Murphy gets a good piece of that. Watch the second bounce down there at third man. He does. Collects it very nicely. Good throw in, just 1 run. Good over again from Bartlett, just 4 balls.
Yeah, you could do with the boundary here off the last ball. Well, the last 2 would be really good for the rush. He's bowled well though, Bartlett.
Would they be a little bit disappointed not going over 150? You think, Berkey, or at the end of the start of the innings you'd take it?
I think where they are now, they would have took that at the beginning of the innings. Yeah. 150 is not easy to come by.
Here comes Bartlett. Now, that sounded a bit better off the bat. It's gone straight to Rahman in misfield, shy at the stumps. I don't know if the skipper's too happy having to collect that throw in on the half volley.
Saying that though, Robbie, everyone always likes more.
Yeah, exactly.
More, and they've been pretty consistent throughout the innings. They had that one really good over, but overall I think they've been pretty consistent, and they'll back their bowlers to do the job. Yeah,
Bartlett and Co have been good over the last 4 or 5 overs. Bartlett's in again now, and this time it's hit to cover, wide of cover, down to deep mid-off. They should get back for 2. They will. Galachan really running well between wickets there, backing up nicely, and that does complete the 19th over. 4 for 140, 1 over to go.
I think with 1 over to go, I think it's probably important. Anyone at home watching this and have any comments, the hashtag is Plan B Bash Final. There's been a few tags in there, which has been good to see, and any good tweets we definitely will read out on air. So if you've got anything out there that you want us to maybe know some of these players or know the umpires or what's going on, so maybe the hashtag Plan B Bash Final on Twitter, and we will monitor that and we'll put some good comments out.
Well, your man Mern is going to come back on, Matty, and it'll be Galachan on strike. He's 10 off 10 balls. Murphy 18 off 18. So that just does show how well these bowlers have bowled over the last 3 or 4 overs. Here comes Galachan. He tried a big shot down the fine leg. Might be a chance for a run out, and he gets home for a bye. After all that, I think it was leg bye. So just again, a little pet hate of mine. Batsman moving around the crease. Stay stable, stay solid. Bang.
So just moving
Look at that. That's a ridiculous amount of area to cover. The early settlers didn't go that far, Berkey.
No, you're right.
Did they?
No.
So he got himself almost out of cover point. In comes Mern again, and this one's thrashed through covers. Won't be 4 though. The man in deep cover. It's a good throw back in. Chance for a run out. The batsman is home. Bowler Mern couldn't take the return. It was a good one. And 2 valuable runs there to Murphy. 4 for 143. 4 balls to go.
4 twos gets to 151.
He's onto it.
Or 2 boundaries and 2 blocks.
Yeah, good point.
He's onto it. It doesn't matter how you get there, does it?
Exactly.
Just got to get to 151.
Yep.
Bit of me time there from Gary
worry
Birkinshaw,
about
I just sensed there.
Sorry, we on air still.
Yeah. Not for much longer if I keep up my form. Here we go. Here's a go now, and a good one by Murphy. Look at it, he's thrashed that wide of mid-off. And there's 4 runs, takes it up to 4 for 147. Murphy on to 24. The hit, that was some power.
Yeah, that was good. Really good. Just opened the leg, moved the leg out of the road and just hit through the ball. And, yeah, good shot there by Murphy. He's done very well, 24 off 20, but the other important thing is a partnership of 31, and they've done that all day as the Rush put together partnerships.
Moon again, and Murphy this time straight to cover point, has missed it there at short cover, and he will only cost them 1 run, but it's 2 more valuable runs. Score along to 4 for 149 with 2 balls to go. 2 singles, and Berkey, you get your target score.
I'll take more though. I'll be happy to go where you are.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I was after these next 2 balls.
Yeah, right.
Gary, if you don't mind.
Oh, gee, he always looks.
You don't mind that, mate?
No, that's fine.
4 for 149. Here we go. Murphy swing and a miss. Shot at the stumps. Miss. Might get him at the other end. No, he won't. So the 150 is up. I think. Yes, it is. There it ticks over. 1 ball to go here. Who's on strike? Galichan.
6.
Yeah, wouldn't you love to tell the
Wouldn't it
grandkids
be
about that
good?
one?
6 on the last ball. How good with the 6 being
Tell
the
the
last
kids.
ball here?
Mern comes in now, and he bowls, and Galichan just squeezes it through point. He might get a couple here. Rahman's got a very good arm. It comes in, throws not bad, and the batsman gets back. Galichan picks up 2, and it is the Central Coast Rush. They'll finish on 4 for 152. Great effort from the batsman there, Gary Birkinshaw.
Yeah, look, that's a really good innings. They certainly would have taken that. I think anyone would take 150 in a final at the SCG, and yeah, they've set themselves up nicely with their bowling attack. They've got a lot slower the bowling attack, but in saying that, though, the ACT Aces are very strong with the bat as well. So we've got a really great run chase coming up.
And we'll go through that card as we see a few of these wickets, the 4 wickets that did fall, as we're just getting that sorted out to come to you. But yeah, a good total, Matty Taberner, 152. It's, yeah, Berkey said you'd take that at the start of the innings.
I think both teams will take that. I think both teams will be happy. 152, 153 to win the Plan B Regional Bash Final. I think if you said that at the start of the game, ACT will take it. Central Coast will take it. We're up for a great final 20 overs of this competition for season 2018-19, and I'm looking forward to it as we look at the wickets here. Cornwall here, that's right. Yeah, caught out at deep mid on by Rahman. Yeah, straight away. And then the next over, we get the 2nd wicket after we look at this one again.
He's always got a good pair of hands, young Rahman.
Yeah, he's fielded well. So, yeah, next over from the Randwick in, we see the 2nd wicket. We think this was Taylor. Yeah, probably should have went forward, maybe coming back. But, yeah, just spooned a catch here to short cover. Then we had a good 63-run partnership in between here before we saw this run out by Ninneman.
Yeah, a bit of a mix-up there between McCabe and Cohen, and met in the middle of the pitch, and McCabe had to go back. Good fielding by Nimmonen, and we thought at that stage a very, very important run out, especially when it was followed not much long later by Ben Cohen there with, yeah, Robbie's given that out again, even though it's probably outside off stump, but Robbie's given it out. But that's okay. It's no, that was in line, hitting the line. So no, it was a very good decision by the umpire there. So,
yeah. All right, there we had it. Gary, just quickly, the wicket takers there, going through those. We had the best of the bowlers in your book.
I think Scott Mearn did a really good job, 2 for 29. He had the best figures, but I think also when he bowled at very, very pivotal times, he was able to that. I thought Ethan Bartlett come back well after his first over. Allen only had the 2 overs. He went for 18 off 1 over. I thought he might have been able to come back.
After you'd wrapped him up?
Yeah, after I wrapped him up, yeah. And Floss Cook bowled well. But it'll be interesting to see the spinners are going to play a big role for the rush.
Yeah.
Whether the conditions are conducive for that, who knows? But one thing for sure, I know it'll be an exciting run chase. All
right, there we have it. A very good wrap up there from Gary Birkinshaw and Matthew Taberner. There we have it. 153 is the target for the ACT Aces to become the 2018-19 Plan B Regional Bash champions. Can they get there? We'll find out. We'll be back for the 2nd innings in what should be a cracking finish.
Welcome back to the SCG. We're about almost ready to see who is going to be crowned the Plan B Regional Bash champions for 2019. If you have just joined us, this is the final between the ACT Aces and the Central Coast Rush, with the Central Coast Rush making 152 from their allotted 20 overs. So the ACT Aces requiring 153 to win. Alongside me, Marty Garoni and Matty Tabernaur. Should be a cracking 20 overs to see how this game goes. Obviously, conditions have changed a little bit, but if you're the Central Coast boys, you've got to be happy with getting 152 on the board, don't you?
Well, definitely the highest score for the day in the final is a really good start for them, and now they've just got to back it up in the field. But as we've seen in previous years, the scores have gone up across the day. The dew starts to settle, the wicket gets a little bit quicker, a little bit easier for batting. But they've done the first part of the job, and now the Crush have now got to really just finish it off.
So it's going to be Floris and Trickett out in the middle, and Matty, I think those first 6 overs probably going to be really key to how this game pans out, because you feel if the Central Coast are able to get a couple of wickets in that power play, it really dents the opportunities for the ACT to win it. But if ACT can be 50, 55, potentially even 60 at that 6 over mark, take advantage of only 2 players being outside the circle, they're going to fancy their chances to go on with the job.
Oh, definitely. I think both teams would have walked off the field happy with what they've got, happy having to score 152, but also happy to only have to chase 153. So, like you said, I think this first 6 overs is very important, and Floris is going to be the key. We saw in the Thunder Conference final, he batted through, got them home. I think Central Coast will want to get him very quickly, but remember too, in that Thunder Conference final, he got dropped early on. So hopefully for Central Coast's sake, if he gives that opportunity, they take it.
So it is going to be Birkinshaw to open from the Pangton end of the grounds, and Floris will be on strike. So the required run rate 7.7 runs per over.
Change of tactic here. They opened with the spinners in the earlier game, and they're going with the quick to start off in this game, which will be interesting to see how that pans out for them as we go forward.
And well, the wickets seem to quicken up a little bit, so maybe they can hurry the batsman up a little bit, but he was certainly pretty good in the semi-final, I thought, Scott Birkinshaw, so we'd love to repeat those heroics. Right arm over the wicket, and it's a big wide, and it's going to go for 4. Well, what a start for the Aces. Not the start that the Central Coast were wanting. That's going to go down as 5 wides, so not too many times you see that symbol on the scoreboard, Marty, and as a bowler, probably not something you want to see too often.
Not a score that you want to see on the scoreboard anytime when you're a bowler, and especially first ball. That puts him under pressure now. 5 runs off the first ball, and obviously gets the Aces off to a flying start.
And I noticed his father wasn't in the room to see that, which is probably a good thing for Scott.
That run rate's dropped 7.7 to 7.4 just like that. Birkinshaw in. This is going to be another wide. So the ball's swinging a little bit early on here, and he's just having a little bit of problems just trying to control it.
Yeah, might pay just to bowl one a bit cross seam, just to find his line and length, and then try and swing them. But he's tried to swing it right from the get-go, and the first 2 have gone well down the leg side. So he really needs to get back on track here. That's 6 without a ball, actually legal ball being bowled.
Birkinshaw in. This is better. It's tucked around the corner. It's a backward square leg for a single, so Floris is off the mark, and we've had 1 legitimate delivery, and 7's been scored off it, so a run rate of 42 at the moment here for the ACT Aces.
Be a quick game if they stick at that level, won't it? It'll be about 4 overs and we'll be done and dusted, but I'm tipping that might come down a little bit in the next few balls.
So Bartlett on strike, a real goer at the top of the order. Be interesting to see how he plays here, and he flays at a wide one outside the off stump. A little bit of a way swing also there for Birkinshaw.
I've just noticed too on the My Cricket app, the projected total's 840.
Okay.
That could be a record, and you've probably been unlucky not for that one to be called wide either, to be honest. So
he was very lucky to get away with that one. I think the umpire might be taking a little bit of pity on him with that one, but really needs to get back on track here.
Birkinshaw comes, and this ball hits him in the body, trying to swiveling around and trying to pull that around the corner. And a couple of dot balls in succession now, which is what Birkinshaw desperately would have wanted.
Yeah, he's shown that he can actually swing the ball both ways. He swung the 2 down the leg side early, and that previous ball did swing away. So he's got a bag of tricks. He just needs to get it on target, and he could cause the batsman a few issues here if he gets one in the right spot.
Birkinshaw bowls to Bartlett, pitched up and driven beautifully out to mid-off, but can't beat the fielder there. So a few balls in succession after what can only be described as a horrendous start, with 7 runs coming, or 6 runs coming off those first 2 balls, including 5 wides on the opening delivery of the innings.
And what it does do is it actually gives these 2 batsmen the chance to have a bit of a look now. So, you know, the 7 runs off the first 3 balls enables them to have a bit of a look at the rest of the over and see how they're going to target this bowler.
2 balls left. Birkinshaw pitches up, and this ball lofted over the top of mid-on. It's well timed. It's not going to reach the rope. They've collected 2. But it's fairly pedestrian running, it must be said, by the Aces there. Thought they could have got 3 from that, but content with picking up a couple. None for 9.
Yeah, I think you're right there. Yeah, an easy 3 there if they run hard between the wickets, but yeah, maybe pace them themselves, trying to get through. Hopefully batting the 20 overs they'll be looking to do. So.
Birkinshaw in once more, full bunger. And this one inside edge onto the pad, dribbles away. So a entertaining opening over, to say the least. Chasing 153 for victory. The ACT Aces are none for 9 in the Plan B Regional Bash Final. Floris on 1, Bartlett on 2.
And we mentioned the last innings about Twitter and getting involved with it. We've had a tweet here from Troy Scott with the hashtag Plan B Bash Final. A bit of a stat. Don't know how true this one is, but we'll go with it. McCabe's second best T20 average at the SCG behind Virat. We'll just leave the international part out of it. Get 'em Coasters. So it looks like he's a Central Coast fan. So thank you to Troy Scott. And just remember that hashtag is Plan B Bash Final.
So going to go with slow bowling from the other end, and it's going to be Taylor, who we saw a little bit of in the semi-final from this Randwick end of the ground.
Again, bowling left arm round and bowling very wide of the crease. So it's a little bit of a hold up while they're getting their field settled. A deep long on, and a deep sort of squarish mid wicket. Really, it's not a genuine mid wicket, but probably that cow corner area.
So here comes Adam Taylor, right arm over. And this ball's an inside edge onto the offside, so good start by him. So Floris and Bartlett, no doubt, trying to build a partnership, get their eye in against this Central Coast attack. Back and chopping out onto the offside to Gully, no run again.
Very good start again from Taylor, as he did in the semi-final. Bowled a really good tight set of 4 overs for the rush, and he started well again here.
Dances in here as this ball is pushed down to mid-off, and they take a quick single, and they get through for that single. So Floris joins Bartlett on 2 runs.
Yeah, it was good running there. Went with the shot straight to mid-off. Would have been interesting if he picked that up clearly, but I think hitting with the ball, going with the ball, would have made it comfortable, and take the risk. If they hit the stumps, good piece of fielding.
And that was sort of a key ingredient of their batting in the first game too, as they were able to hit the ball and go with the shot.
So Bartlett faces up, he advances and uses his feet and works the ball awkwardly out onto the offside. So after disappointing first over from Birkinshaw, they was able to pull it back well in the latter half of the over, and it's been continued here by Taylor, who's conceded just the solitary run from the first 4 balls. In Taylor to Bartlett, who lofts this one, but only as far as the fielder at long on. So they're dealing in ones at the moment. The ACT Aces, none for 11. 1 ball left in this second over. So I'm sure the Central Coast boys pretty happy with the start they've put forward, considering 5 runs came from that first ball. This is one of the off stump and left alone. So 2 runs from it. Good first over from Taylor. 2 overs gone, none for 11. With Bartlett on 3, Floris on 2, 142 required. 7.9 and over here for the Aces if they want to take out the Plan B Regional Bash Final here at the SCG.
Be really interesting to see in this innings. In the first innings with Central Coast, they were able to get that 4 off that last over. Is Robbie and Scott's father Gary there contemplating what's happening on the field. But if we go back onto the field, that Central Coast on the last ball of a lot of overs in that first 20 overs were able to find that boundary, or at least multiple runs. And we've noticed here in the first 2 overs here, ACT haven't been able to do that. So it'll be really interesting to keep an eye on that and just see if they're targeting that last ball.
Archer's going to come into the attack, Chris Archer. So they've taken Birkinshaw off after that first over went for 9 runs.
Again, back to the standard operation from the first game. The spinners bowling the early overs and really trying to put pressure on the batters and hurry through they really tried to hurry through the power play overs, which actually set them up really well in that first game.
They've been able to get through 2 overs of the 6 overs of the power play fairly unscathed, and the 11 from it. So a third through that power play, and really hasn't been too much damage done by the Aces.
I think they bowled their 20 overs in about 70 minutes in the first game, so very quick, which didn't let the batsmen settle, run at their pace. So I think they'll be trying to do that again here.
So we Bartlett on strike. He's 3 from 7. Archer thrown up, and this ball punched out through cover. They'll get through for a single, but a good piece of fielding out there by the rush.
Got to that one on the full. Probably just needed to get it a little bit wider, that cover fieldsman. A good piece of fielding to knock it down and just keep it to the 1.
This one's thrown up and smacked beautifully out onto the onside. He won't get 4 for it, and they will come back for a second. Again, a bit of miscommunication, but managed to get through in the end. Did Bartlett, was running to the danger end. Flores picks up 2. He goes to 4, none for 14.
It looks like they're targeting this over a bit. The first one's got down to the pitch of the ball. The second one they've hit over the top of that fielder there at straight mid wicket there. So they might be targeting this one just to maybe have to get the Central Coast to think about not going with the spin non-stop, maybe trying to get a pace bowler in.
It's a little bit flatter and goes the big sweep shot across the line, but Archer just deceives him with the pace there a little bit.
Again, just losing his shape, trying to hit it too hard, and that's always the danger when the spinner's just taking the pace off a little bit. You try and generate too much yourself.
This one worked only as far as mid-wicket, so a couple of dot balls here by Archer, and Central Coast Rushers continue to tighten the screws, make that run rate go up. It's up to 8 and over now. It started at 7.7. Archer in plenty of air as this ball's punched down the ground for 1. So got that protection down the ground, so you can afford to bowl fairly straight on at the stumps.
It looks like they're attacking early in the oval, then just trying to nurse it through the end of it. The first 3 or 4 balls they've gone hard. The last one there they've just noodled it down to long on.
Last ball, Archer throws this one up. It's lofted wonderfully all the way for 6. Clears the rope by a good 4 or 5 metres, and that was effortless there from Bartlett. Just played through the line and lifted it easily over the boundary rope for 6. And what was quite a mediocre over and turns it into a good over there. None for 21 after 3. Bartlett moves to 10, Flores 5.
Brave piece of bowling that didn't quite come off for him. He tossed it up a little bit more, that last ball, and Bartlett was equal to the task, and a beautiful shot over mid-off for 6.
And it looks like after 3 overs, both teams none for 21. So I think we're coming down to the 20th over thriller at the SCG for the Plan B Regional Bash Final.
Matty Taverner calling for the super over again after 3 overs in the second innings.
He wants it.
He's very keen for a super over.
Oh, who isn't? Who at home? Everyone's looking for a super over, I reckon. Just to build it up, get a bit more time at the SCG. Super over in the Plan B Regional Bash Final. How good would that be?
Adam Taylor continuing. His first over went for 2 runs. He's coming in now right arm over to Flores, and Flores is pushing down the ground. It's another dot ball.
Darting that one in nice and quick. That was probably the quickest deliveries bowled today. Really pushing Flores back onto the back foot.
Taylor outside. The off stump short of a length. Push back towards him. No run. Slow bowling. Still working for the Central Coast, much like it was this afternoon in their semi-final. And there's an appeal for LBW. And gets turned down straight away. He's trying to play that sweep, trying to swipe it across the line. There is Flores, and is having a bit of trouble connecting.
This will be interesting, this replay. It'll look fairly straight, but a big angle there. Yeah, maybe going down leg.
It's got to be turning a lot to be hitting the stumps, that one.
Yeah.
Taylor, sorry, just again angling that one into the pads, and Flores unable to get away. So Flores already been in there for 13 balls, only has 5 next to his name. So 4 dot balls as they try and clamp down on him and build some more pressure. Taylor, and Flores smacks it straight back to Taylor, who's like a man possessed at the moment.
This is a great over, this one. 5 dot balls in a row. We haven't seen a maiden over today, I don't think, so this could be the first.
It's been right at Flores as well. He's not giving any time to breathe. Swiping across the line. This one looks a little bit closer. He seemed really confident, and then almost a run out. There is a direct hit, and they get the wicket anyway. So Flores has stumbled and fumbled his way out of the batting crease. He's gone for 5, and it's a wicket maiden for the Central Coast, and they reduce the ACT Aces to 1 for 24 at the completion of the 4th over. Bit of panic coming in here, Matty Tappanor. Initially they thought it was LBW, and then a bit of panic between the batters. Saw a run out, a great direct hit, great piece of fielding coming in here from short third man.
Yeah, definitely. Looking at the replay, looked like the non-striker there, Bartlett, was coming down and has sent him back, and yeah, direct hit got him, and yeah, he was well out. That's a good piece of fielding down there at short, fine leg there, and that's a huge wicket. We noticed Tim Flores in that first game against the Wranglers was the cornerstone of them getting those runs, and that's a huge wicket, especially a wicket maiden. A maiden's good in T20, probably no much better than a wicket maiden.
That's a great piece of bowling there from Taylor. Built the pressure all the way through the over, and an excellent piece of fielding there for the direct hit run out. The LBW very optimistic, I think, the appeal, but yeah, that was a very good over, and it's put them well on top here.
And they're changing up here, going back to pace with Birkinshaw to come back into the attack. So yeah, they're definitely mixing it up. A couple of overs of spin, couple of overs of pace, coming back to pace now. So yeah, just keeping them on their toes.
So Bartlett on strike on 10, and obviously a lot of quality batters in this ACT lineup, but you've got to think that Bartlett might be the cornerstone of this innings. He needs to probably bat for the whole innings and play some of those big shots that we know he can do. Tries to clip this one around the corner to no avail. Another dot ball.
Much better start to this over from Birkinshaw than the first one, and he finished his first over really well after that 5 wides off the first ball. So he's back on track now, and he's started this over really nicely.
Birkinshaw in, pitched up, and this ball slammed out through extra cover. Beautiful shot. It went like a tracer bullet out through the cover region. Really well struck by Bartlett. He goes to 14 and relieves the pressure a little bit with a much-needed boundary for the ACT.
That's a great cover drive through there. That's a great shot. He's pitched it up. I think it's a general and half volley here outside off. Yeah, not far off, but yeah, he cleared that front foot, and that's a great shot through the covers. It's one of the best shots we've seen today.
Beautiful shot. He's played a couple of really good shots in the last couple of overs here, Bartlett, so he's starting to work into his batting here.
Birkinshaw hits him on the pad and ricochets away down to third man. They'll pick up a single. So continually asking questions, aren't they, the Central Coast attack? They haven't been going for too many runs, and that's the third LBW appeal we've seen probably in the last 10 or 11 deliveries.
Yeah, I think this one might have hit him outside off stump. It's probably too high too.
A bit high,
yeah, but very good shout actually. It's pretty close, but yeah, I think going over the top.
It's done a little bit off the wicket, that one too. So ball starting to move around a little bit,
making it a lot harder for runs than the ACT maybe anticipated.
And if we remember back to last year, the Newcastle Blasters batted first and got 169, and the runner Outlaws could only reply with 153. So batting first, I think, is an advantage.
Birkinshaw pitches up to Trickett, and there's an appeal for caught behind. Sounded like there was a noise, but umpire is unmoved.
Bowler looked a little bit more excited than the wicketkeeper there. I think the wicketkeeper joined in, but nice piece of bowling here. I think if we have a look at this one, it's just shaped away a little bit. Oh, beautifully bowled.
Yeah, I think he's hit the pitch.
Yeah.
Very good over here by Birkinshaw. Has come back in his second over. He's only gone for 4 and a couple of close calls.
Continues over the wicket. And again, flaying away at a wideish ball outside the off stump is Trickett. So unable to connect. So dot 4, one leg by, and then back-to-back dot balls. So Trickett just trudges off to square leg, maybe just to consolidate, and
probably doesn't need to be giving himself room. Birkinshaw's moving the ball away from him. Probably just needs to be staying still. We've been saying that a little bit batsmen moving around too much and not giving themselves a stable base to play their shots from.
Last ball of the 5th over. It's for full toss, punch straight to cover. So that ends a very good over. Only 5 from it. Only 4 from the bat. Bartlett 14 from 12. Trickett yet to score from his first 3 deliveries faced. 1 for 26 after 5. 127 to win. 90 balls to do it in. That required run rate now up to 8.5 and over, boys. And as that gradually creeps up towards 9, that's when the scoreboard pressure can start to play a part on the batting side.
Yes, one thing you don't want early in the innings is that run rate getting too high. It's all right if you only got to do it for 4, 5, 6 overs, but when you've got to be going at 8.5 for 15 overs, that's where it can get really too difficult. You then start losing wickets and then it goes up again. So I think they need to got 1 over in this power play. I think they really need a good over here. And we remember the Central Coast at the end of their power play were 2 for 46. So just to get par with them, they need a big over here.
It's one of those big overs. I think we had an 18 run over during the rush innings, and that's what I think the Aces need something like that very shortly.
It's just been a good bowling performance though from Central Coast, hasn't it? It hasn't been through lack of trying from the ACT. It's just been able to move the ball a little bit and bowl in tight areas as this ball is hit firmly at mid-on.
Taylor, 2 overs for 2 runs. He's doing a great job.
Again, using his feet and hitting this one out through extra cover. It's well timed and that'll be a boundary. They needed that, and if they're going to get runs, you feel like Bartlett's the one that's going to get them and get them quickly. Using his feet well, got to the pitch and flayed that one out through cover. He goes to 18, 1 for 30.
Again, gave himself a little bit of room. Probably sliced it a little bit more than he would have liked. I think he was probably aiming to hit that sort of more over mid-off, but desired result, he's got it out through the cover region for 4 there.
Taylor in, and he smacks this one out to cover. Trying to find that gap once more, but is unable to pierce that gap in that cover region.
Interesting, he's moving over to the leg side to try and get to the shorter boundary here. They've got protection here on the mid-wicket at long on, but he's trying to hit it through the covers.
Advancing, and this one hit straight to cover as well. So he's got the 1 boundary, and he's hit the other 3 pretty good, but unable to. Well, he's been able to pick out the field and not the gaps, unfortunately. Frustration might creep in here for Bartlett. Taylor continues. Hits this one beautifully. That's a fantastic shot that's gone all the way into the stands for 6. Bronglestown gets a bit of attention from the pink ball. And Bartlett, after not being able to find the gap in the last few deliveries, has cashed in here using his feet. Picks up 6. He goes to 24. 1 for 36. 1 ball left in this power play.
Yeah, exactly what they needed, a big oval. So they've got 10 so far off this over, and I'm sure they'd love to get another boundary here to really get them closer to what the Central Coast got after the power play.
It's a good fight back here, and Bartlett's doing a great job as the captain of the side, trying to steer the ship. A couple of big strikes there, and he was probably a little bit unlucky with the previous 2 deliveries. He hit them flush in the middle of the bat and just found a fielder. So 2 foot either side, and they're both boundaries as well.
That comparison, as Matty was mentioning before, 46 for the Central Coast. 2 wickets down after their 6 overs, and at the moment 36 on the board here with 1 wicket down. Bartlett faces to Taylor, and he hammers this one on the offside, takes on the arm. Shot is wide, and they pick up a single, so Bartlett will retain the strike. They get 11 runs from that over. It's the best one of the innings so far for the Aces. They move to 1 for 37 after 6. Bartlett 25. Trickett yet to score.
It's interesting. After the power play, you'd have to say it's still 50-50, even though Central Coast scored 9 extra runs. ACT Aces have lost 1 less wicket, and to get to 37 after they had a maiden over, a wicket maiden, and then the over after that only went for 5. So to still be in the mix after the power play, I think they'll be very happy with that. And the run rate's still around that 8.3. It hasn't gone up now. They've been able to consolidate that around that level. So I think I think both teams again will be very happy, and we're still on a 50-50 situation.
Yeah, I'll probably have the rush slightly in front at the moment, simply because they're managing to tie them down, and even though there was 10 runs off that over, there was still the 4-dot ball. So at the moment it seems to be 4 or nothing, and I think the Aces need to find a way to start picking up 1s and 2s to go along with the boundaries to really start pushing the score along.
So we're going to see Lindsay coming to the attack. from the Pangton end of the ground. So continuing with that slow bowl option, even despite last over where Taylor did take a bit of a pasting. So I wonder if Bartlett might just try and get a few siders here, or whether if a little bit short and a little bit wide, and in that arc, might just see it disappear into the SCG somewhere.
It's safe to say I've just got back from Troy Scott with averages. Virat Kohli's averaging 111 at the SCG, and Steve McCabe's averaging 97.
Lindsay in, advancing down the track and smacking out through extra cover for a single is Bartlett.
He's definitely hitting the ball well at the moment. I don't think they want to leave him in there for too much longer. They really want to try and knock him over or keep him off strike. It would be a good option as well at this stage.
Yeah, certainly looks like he's got his eye in now, having faced 19 deliveries and moved to 26. And important for Trickett to play a part in this partnership as well, as we've seen throughout the day. Even if you're only getting 8, 9, 10 runs, just rotating the strike and being an anchorage for that other batsman is very, very important. Just a bit of a delay here as they move some fielders around, and Lindsay just gets a field placings that he would like. Outside the off stump, and Trickett for the 4th consecutive ball unable to score.
He just keeps backing away. He's really just got to try and stay a little bit still and plant his feet and really just get a few in the middle of the bat.
This one's short and he's back and punching this one backward a point, and that's going to reach the rope for 4. So that's a good shot by Trickett, cashing in a little bit too short and too wide there from Lindsay. And Trickett wasn't going to miss out on that 2 balls in a row. So he goes to 4, 5 from the over, 1 for 42.
And again, he just got himself in a much more stable position to hit that last one, and his body movement out through the shot, and that's a beautiful shot out through point for 4. That's brought about a change in the field. They've brought an extra fielder across from the leg side, trying to plug that gap. But I think the gap's still there. Like, he's hit that out past the umpire.
Lindsay in, thrown up and driven forcefully down the ground. There's a man down there. Marty, quickly before you jump off the stream, no Jared Seifert this year. I was looking forward to calling him this year. Didn't get the invite.
It was a fair bit happening. We're back at school at this time of the year, and our cricket managers are out there doing the good work out in the schools, and we're also preparing for a rather large staff uplift or misfield there, and that's gone for 4-2. That's a costly miss.
That's Bartlett there. Danced down the track and got his feet at the pitch of it, but probably should have done better there. That's 10 off the over at the moment. Bartlett to 30.
Yeah, so we're preparing nicely for new staff coming on board, and hopefully it'll set Cricket New South Wales and Australian cricket up to better service our stakeholders out there and make sure that we're giving every young child the opportunity to play cricket. So that's what it's all about at the moment. 1 for 47. Lindsay will finish with a dot ball. So Bartlett's 30 from just 21. Trickett's 5 from 6. 10 coming from that over. And all of a sudden that run rate's being dragged down here by the ACT Aces. 1 for 47 after 7. 106 needed off 78. Run rate required 8.2.
It's keeping steady, that run rate required.
It is, isn't it?
It hasn't gone up. It got up to about 8.5, but it's now back at 8.2, and it's been around that mark for the last 2 or 3 overs now. So they're keeping on track. It's not going up and down, and just doing what they need to do at the moment as they get through this period.
Wickets in hand probably the most important thing, because even if you are chasing more than 8 and over in that last kind of 7 or 8 overs, Gary, if you've only 1 or 2 or 3 down, you can probably force your arm a little bit more.
Yeah, exactly right. Most of the sides who've won today have had those wickets in hand at the end and been able to accelerate, and just been sitting outside. How well is Ethan Bartlett hitting the ball? Just the noise that the ball makes when it hits the bat out there, just as crisp as anything. So certainly the key at the moment, and if he's in there for an extended length of time, he'll take the game away from the rush. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, well, he's at that on strikers end at the moment, but he's moved himself to 30 in pretty quick time. I feel he's the real key for the Aces. And here is a wonderful lofted straight drive. That's a beautiful shot. It is going to be just picked up inside the boundary, is it? Yes, it is, and they'll come back for 2 there to Trickett. So after not scoring off his first 4 balls, Trickett's managed to pick up 7 off the last 3, so he looks to be finding his groove a little bit as well.
Yeah, just giving himself that bit of room, isn't he? Just opening up, trying to open up the offside, and that time he just hit it nice and straight when the ball got in a little bit straighter.
So Archer continuing none for 12 in his second over and going for the big shot. He's got plenty behind that one. That's going to be a boundary. Just far too short there from Archer, and it was easy pickings for Trickett, who just was deploying the Steve Swore type slog sweep across the line there to pick up a boundary.
He probably found he probably a little bit straight with that one. Just that, yeah, not too bad. It's good shot. Sometimes you just got to admit it's a good shot. So they're on the march at the moment, the Aces, no doubt about that. 1 for 53.
6 runs coming from these first 2 deliveries in the 8th over. This one's wide and it's poked away, but only as far as cover. So they get away with the dot ball there, but feel the momentum just shifting a little bit. The Aces starting to get on top and runs starting to flow. Run rate down to exactly 8 and over. Archer in, and Trickett has been playing away at a wide ball here. There's a big appeal from the rush, but falls on deaf ears.
It's interesting to have a look. This partnership's 32 off 22 balls, but 26 of them have been scored in boundaries. So, as Marty was saying earlier, it looks like it's a lot of boundaries or nothing. Only six runs that have not come from boundaries in this partnership.
Archer throws this one up, and Trickett hammers this one down towards long on. A couple of bounces out to the fielder in the deep for a single.
Just looking at that last replay, Jack, there's a lot of movement around by Trickett. You're watching his feet, he's moving around, not going forward or back, but just, yeah, a lot of movement. Obviously a lot of feet movement. That obviously means your head's moving a lot as well.
Difficult as a bowler, isn't it? When you've got a batsman, they don't even know where they're moving sometimes. So last ball of the 8th over, 7 from this. Bartlett faces up, he advances and he drives forcefully out through extra cover to the sweeper in the deep, just a single. So he moves to 31. Trickett's 12. 8 coming from the over. 8 overs gone. 1 for 55. So 98 required from the final 12 overs. Run rate is 8.2 required. I'm going to jump out of here, and David Gavin will bring you through the next 5 overs in this Plan B regional bash final.
Yeah, and if we look at the comparison in this game after 8 overs, the Central Coast Rush were 2 for 55, and we've got the ACT Aces at 1 for 55. So it's neck and neck here. They're keeping up with the run rate, keeping up with the comparison scores. It looks like the hat's about to go on here, or change of gloves, which is probably handy, so we don't have any more bat tosses for the day. But yeah, it's no doubt we are going right to the end with this game.
Yeah, it certainly is. And you know, the Aces have certainly shown that they've been able to find the boundary, and they've done that quite regularly, as you just mentioned. But on the other hand, the Rush also been able to dot them up for a while. So if they can manage to get a wicket and get a new batsman in, the opportunity is there to probably put the squeeze on the run rate as well.
Well, good evening, boys. We are evenly poised. Bartlett 31 from 22. Trickett 12 from 11. Lindsay to continue from the Paddington end of the ground.
Really spending plenty of time here, Peter Gallatin and Blair Lindsay, just making sure they get the field set in the right position. The beauty is having so many spinners in the side. Over rate is never going to be a problem, so when you need to, you can spend that extra time without the pressure of getting behind the over rate.
In he comes to Bartlett, down the track he goes, and
shot.
Bartlett's given that plenty. Lofted cover drive all the way for 6.
That is a great shot.
Made a great sound, didn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting here, looking at the last game, Lindsay bowled 4 overs, 1 for 21, and after 7 balls here, he's already up at 16. So it looks like they're targeting him, the ACT team.
That one there, he wasn't even to the pitch of the ball, but he just hit through, and that's to the long boundary, over cover. Great shot.
And tries it again, this time with the slog sweep out through mid-wicket. But he just flies all the way along the ground.
He's in a great mindset at the moment, Bartlett. He just believes that he can hit every ball to the boundary, and that's fantastic for him. A fantastic place to be.
Fantastic for the ACT as well. That run rate's really picked up while Bartlett's been in the crease. So 7 off the over, 2 balls bowled. Blair Lindsay to continue with his 3rd delivery. In he comes again, the left arm orthodox, and that's powerfully hit again.
4 runs.
Straight through the hands almost of Blair Lindsay, but straight as a die, it brings up another 4 runs, this time to Trickett.
Yeah, another good shot straight. He's powerful there. He just once again gave himself room, hit straight through the ball, and that was just too quick for Blair Lindsay. He just couldn't get the hands up in time. Great shot again.
So 87 to win from 69 balls. That comparison between runs and balls is being reduced. In comes Lindsay, again to Trickett, lofted down the ground. Of bounces, and then it rolls its way down towards long off. I'll pick up a single. 12 off the over.
Yeah, it's interesting to say that. We see that required run rate now down to 7.5. It's been at 8.3, 8.2 for the last 3 or 4 overs. Now it's down to 7.5. So it's on. They're going now.
Lindsay to Bartlett. Down the track he goes.
He hasn't got that,
Has
I
he
think.
got enough of that to clear the fieldsman? He hasn't. So he's caught down at long off. And that's a big wicket for the Central Coast. Ethan Bartlett, 38 from 24, but he departs, trying one big hit too many. The catch taken by Hayden Murphy. Lindsay breaks through. And May, well, has this match turned again?
Yeah, it certainly has. That's a good, well-judged catch there by Murphy. Nothing's easy to take it at this stage of the game, and such a big wicket. And we mentioned not 2 balls ago that Bartlett was in the mood. You reckon he could have hit every ball before. He didn't quite get that one, and look, that's a vital breakthrough for the Rush.
Yeah, we're talking about there, was it needed at that time? They've already hit 12 off the first 4 balls. If you hit a couple of singles, you get the 14 off the over. But like you said, he's been hitting them well. That's how he's been playing it, and unfortunately, he just didn't quite get enough on that one.
Yeah, and you could just see the disappointment on his face there as he, once he saw the catch taken, he just knew that he'd made a monumental error, and probably just tilts it back a little bit back towards the Rush now.
There's an informed batsman coming to the crease now, Reece Healy, 133 runs leading into today. Before the Thunder Conference final, I think an average of over 60.
Unfortunately for him, in the first game, he only got 5, so he'll be looking to get a few more this game and hopefully get the ACT Aces home.
So if you have one bad game though in this T20 format, it's almost, the run of outs is almost temporary, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure ACT will be hoping that's the case.
A lot of times those run of outs can be just through lack of time at the batting crease. Situation of game, you've got to go hard at it.
Lindsay to trick it, they crossed. As Bartlett went down the ground and unfortunately couldn't clear Hayden Murphy at long off. But a single with the next ball, so a wicket and 13 runs from that Blair Lindsay over. 2 for 68 after 9 overs.
Certainly a pep in the step now, the Central Coast Rush. They knew how important the wicket of Bartlett was. An over ago, they were down a bit and Bartlett was in complete control. Now that he's out, the Central Coast can really see an opportunity here, and the next 2 or 3 overs are going to be pretty vital.
So welcome Luke Minor back to the microphone. We're evenly poised here, Luke.
Yeah, absolutely. Massive wicket of Bartlett there, as you gentlemen have been saying earlier. Really felt that if he could have hung around for another 5 overs, he was really starting to take away the game from the Rush there. But, wow, I'd probably have to put it back in the Rush's favour just at this point.
Yeah, change bowler, young Brock Hardy coming to the bowling crease for the first time today, and a young off-spinner, very talented, 16 years of age. Very good all-round cricketer. We saw him take a very good catch in the semi-final, but exciting middle-order batsman and an off-spin bowler.
And he comes with that off-spin into Trickett, who gave himself some room and then ended up sort of getting himself into a bit of a mess, but worked it onto the onside. So here comes Hardy to Trickett. He's bowled him. So I'll aim at the stumps, and if you miss, I hit. That was the scenario for young Brock Hardy, and he's picked up another vital scalp in this final.
Yeah, great wicket there. We just see a replay now coming in, and he just went across the line there and just sort of kept coming in with the arm, and vital wicket there for Hardy. Great bowling change for Peter Gallatin to bring him on and see from the other angle.
Yep, clattered into that leg stump, didn't it?
And that's the thing, when you need to go at 8 runs and over, you feel like you've got to go all the time. You feel if we get an over where we get 1 or 2, and when the Florists run out early on, we had 5 dot balls, and that just created something. You feel you can't have an over where you fall behind.
Yeah, and now with back-to-back wickets in 2 consecutive overs, Bartlett and now the other established batsman of Trickett losing his wicket as well. Really key time for the Rush here. For the Aces to make sure that they continue to turn the score over and not get bogged down.
Well, the 2 new batsmen at the crease are yet to face the delivery. Geordie Missick and Reece Healy. And young Brock Hardy. What a moment for this young man. At the SCG, I'm sure only a few years ago he would have been coming here as a young child and enjoying the cricket with his family. In he comes. to Missick on the front foot, working that ball into the onside. They pick up a single. That's probably what they need at the moment, just to consolidate, maybe just for a couple of overs.
Yeah, they're a really good cricketing family, the Hardys. His brother's playing for North Sydney in grade cricket at the moment. That's his brother, sorry. His father's still playing at the entrance with him, and his grandfather is still playing over 60s cricket, so that they love their cricket, being great cricketers on the Central Coast. And Brock was a member of the under-17s ACT New South Wales countryside. So
in comes Hardy, short of a length delivery, and attempt to punch it down the ground by Healy.
And don't you just love to see the young kids coming through it, playing this competition? You go through all the sides, and they've all got a couple of young players in it, and it's fantastic from a Cricket New South Wales and Country Cricket New South Wales perspective, is that the development work that's being done in the field is certainly generating some really good cricketers.
This one's pulled out to the deep. It'll be another single. But he's doing a great job out there, Brock Hardy, switching up the angles for the right and left-handers.
Yeah, absolutely, Gary. Regardless of the sport, you always see the best teams have got that team balance between the young youth who are starting to come in and establish a name, and also the experienced players that lead the way for them.
So, slight false start for Hardy.
Hardy to Missick, is this the future of cricket? Two very young players, very talented.
And he comes to Missick. Missick trying to work that ball on the onside, but unfortunately probably beating for pace a little bit. Cricket delivery there by young Brock Hardy. And a great opening over.
Yeah. Really good work. Vital wicket there of Trickett, and turns the screws back, certainly back the way of the rush at the moment. The Aces are going to have to spend time to try and consolidate with two new batsmen with a combined total of facing 4 balls, and but they haven't really got the time to do that either. Run rate sitting at the moment at 8.3 runs an over required, 83 off 60 balls, so still very achievable. There's no doubt about that, but you can't continually lose wickets.
It appears the spinners are doing a great job for the rush here. Didn't see a lot of spin used by ACT. They don't have that in their attack. Lindsay to Healy, drives down the ground, cut off by the man at long off.
It's interesting, gentlemen, just looking back through the first innings, it was over number 10, so the over just completed where the Rush managed to score 18 and the Aces just managed 2 in that over, so we're at a really key point of the game where the Rush really started to get away.
Yeah, and the Aces are in a period now of consolidation.
Some slight adjustments being made to the field before Lindsay continues his over from the Paddington end, and he comes to the youngster Missick. Missick just working that.
Well played, really well
off
played.
stump.
Yeah.
And he picks up 2. Great running.
We were all really impressed with Missick in the semi-final, weren't we, Gary? Really seemed like a really busy cricketer. I know I've been trying to think who he reminds me of, and he actually reminds me of a young Jake Doran, and probably scores a little bit better, quicker than Jakey, but if he can be anything like Jake Doran's turning out to be, he's got a long career ahead of him.
Yeah, certainly very, very busy cricketer. Looks to be able to play all round the wicket, so which is really good, and got that typical left-hander flourish off the pads.
Lindsay to Missick again. On the back foot this time, defends. So a dot ball, a valuable one at that for the Rush.
He's running between the wickets, might be real handy here to help get him out of the hole. We can see every time he's getting bat on ball, he's looking for at least 1, if not 2.
Lindsay in again to Missick. Uses his feet and drives down the ground, and again, a good quick single, and he'll pick up 2 with the misfield, will he? He will.
Yeah,
great work by the young man.
Yep, really good running there. It would have been better probably for the Rush field to actually let that one go rather than get a hand on that. But what's happened now, you see here at long on long off, they've actually brought the fielders in, so that then opens the opportunity to go over the top. So it's good batting. Intelligent batting.
Lindsay to Missick on the back foot, trying to work that into the onside, find a gap. He seemed disappointed he didn't quite find the gap he was after. I think he was trying to just pierce that field through mid-wicket and pick up a couple out to the men in the deep on the onside. Left-hander, he's on the back foot this time and just using the face of the blade to work it backward of square. Slight stumble, but no damage done.
6 off that over.
3 for 76.
Yep. So Lindsay 1 for 29 off 3. Yeah, I think he had done for 22 off 7 balls. Picked up the important wicket of Bartlett, and now been able to to peg it back and come back with hit back pretty well, and still just goes to show, even though you might get hit early on, you've still got an important role to play, and it takes one ball to turn things around.
That gap between runs required and balls remaining is widening for the ACT Aces. So Hardy to continue from the Randwick end. 1 for 2 from 1 over. Just 16 years of age. In he comes around the wicket to Missick. Missick on the back foot. Played that as late as possible.
Beautiful hands.
Just dabbed it behind square and picks up a single. Boundary soon. Both of these young men at the crease are still new to the centre. This ball quicker. Just bunted back to Hardy in his return. Another good ball there, Gary.
Yeah, quicker through, varying his pace. Not giving me a lot of flight.
And again, quicker.
Shot.
Middle and off stump. Here's a good shot. Pierces the field. At least a couple.
So look, you're the ACT Aces coach. What would your plan be now? How would you be looking at this now, and where you would like to be? Where you were aiming to go, say, by 15 overs?
Yeah, look, I'm definitely looking to try and take the game as deep as I can. So really trying to consolidate here.
Hardy to Healy. Down the track he goes. Has he cleared the infield?
Good fielding.
He has, but some good fielding out at deep cover limits the damage.
I think Missick, they've got the right man at the crease to do the job, to keep them in the game, and look, try and keep it around 6 or 7 and over. I'm probably trying to keep it under 10 for as long as I can, but I want to try and take the game as deep as possible.
Hardy to Missick. On the front foot. Just nudges that onto the onside. Well fielded by Hardy. He was quick as a flash onto that, and they decided for that quick single.
The consistently being able to score 10 runs and over hasn't been seen at all today, has it really?
No, it hasn't.
I think the slower wicket probably contributes to that a bit. Bigger outfield also. That's good running there again. Yeah, good running.
Doubles up again.
Yeah.
Six off the over.
That's what's going to need, that good running, turning those ones into twos. They can't afford now to leave any runs out there at all.
But 8.8 runs required now.
Pensive Central Coast rush bench there.
Yes. Of course, it must be mentioned, both of these teams in their first Plan B Regional Bash final. All 4 teams involved today, making the final stages of the tournament for the very first time.
You just feel it's a real pity that they've lost Bartlett and Trickett at the point they did, because Missick, I think, with the way he plays, would have really taken the pressure off them. He wouldn't have chewed up many balls on strike and really would have pushed them to get them the strike back.
Lindsay from the Paddington end into Healy. Again, lofts down the ground, but won't find the boundary rope. Just an easy single. Plenty of those on offer, as well as twos, but you have the feeling that the ACT Aces need a few more boundaries.
Yeah, 9 runs and over. It's getting up there. It's getting nearly to the boundary and over stage, isn't it?
Spinners doing a great job for the rush. Lindsay this time to Missick. Down the track he goes, drives way along the ground. Picturesque shot, but only one more to the score.
It's going through an interesting stage here. It almost looks like either side's waiting for the other to make a mistake. You almost feel that the rush could have an extra man in the circle to get 5 in there and potentially really strangle them, but they're happy to not let Aces hit boundaries at this stage.
That one's thrown up. Healy tries to make the most of it, and he does. So that's a much needed boundary for the Aces. Healy provides it, and he goes to 10 from 8. So full toss there by Lindsay. And Healy found the gap out towards Cow Corner in front of the members. So Lindsay in again to Healy. This time he's defending, looking for a quick single. And Missick was always going to be ready to oblige any call.
Geez, he must be quick, because that's gone straight to the fielder, less than 10 metres off the pitch, and he's made it quite comfortably in the end.
Missick's into double figures as well. 10 from 11. That last single moving Healy to 11. So Lindsay to Missick down the track. He
Oh,
goes, and that's a return catch that has been dropped. Well, that almost could have been the final blow for the Aces. It's gone straight back to him. Hit it quite swiftly. But disappointment from Lindsay. In he comes again to Missick. This time he waits on it, does the youngster, and just works it back with a point off the front foot. 8 off the over, if my maths is correct. 3 for 90.
Yeah, just got away with one there, didn't they, with that caught and bowled opportunity there. I think as a spinner, you really want to be taking that, don't you? That is it coming back to you like that. That's what, when you finish your action, you're standing there waiting for it. And I think he might have got, I don't think it come back as quick as what he thought it did. I think he didn't quite get in the middle of the bat, and anyway, it went down, and that's good fortune for the Aces as Robbie comes back.
Yeah, I'm back, boys. Yeah, and yeah, thank you for all the feedback too on social media. And Dave and Dubbo, you can get stuffed. So, but anyway, we'll run with it. Great game on here, lads. 3 for 90. What was the comparison, Lukey? After 13. As the youngster comes in again, and it's a attempted back cut. And it goes straight through to the keeper.
The Rush were 2 for 102 at the same point.
All right, so wicket, a wicket the better and 12 runs. As Hardy, gee, I've been impressed with this young fella. And he bowls to Missick, and he hits it to mid-on. Direct hit, is it? No. And the young fella, he got through there quick. So 63 or 41 balls.
You can just see here, just that there is tenseness in the game, isn't it, from
Yeah.
both sides?
Yeah.
It's just on that knife edge. So which way is it going to go? And you know, the Aces are really one good over away
they're
from
back in it.
right into it. You know, that 18 that the Rush got in one over there, and
Healy advances down the track. They should get a couple here. They're very quick between the wickets, these two, and that could play a part yet too.
yeah.
So I think, Lukey, you made a good point a couple of overs ago about that. They'll try to keep it under 10 as long as they can. But when it does get to 10, if you've still got 7 wickets in hand, it's certainly not out of control. And as Gary alluded to, it's one big over. This game turns. And Healy's on strike, 13 off 10. And this time he goes, slashes it. He's not sure if it was meant to go there, but he'll run all the way down to the boundary, and it should make its way over the rope. It does. And 4 balls into the over. Maybe this is the one that gets them going. It's 7 off it, 3 for 97. Fortune favours the Braid.
Yeah.
Berkey.
Yeah, it certainly does. He just opened himself up there, tried to go over cover, but went fine on that off the edge. And yeah, that's the breaks that you need when in this Central Coast Rush. Certainly had plenty of breaks go their way, and you know, the Aces certainly got one there, so well done to them.
So young Hardy been tested a bit here. And that is a thumping long ball into the stands over the rope from Healy.
Yeah.
And that is just what the doctor ordered. The 100 is up. 13 off the over so far. 1 ball to come. Bingo.
Yeah, that's I suppose a loose ball there from Hardy, but you certainly capitalised on it. And that's the important thing is, even if you get loose balls, you've got to still be able to hit it over the rope like he did, and well done, Healy.
So Healy, look for the single, get on strike would be the go, and he goes hard, and he's been caught. So not real common sense cricket there in my book. Good bowling from the young fella though. He grabs his second wicket, does Hardy, but just a little bunt single. Gary, get him on strike next over, but a big wicket, massive wicket, 4 for 103.
Yeah, there's a full toss again too. There's another full toss, and you know, full toss. He just, to be perfectly honest, he did try to bunt it down to long on. Just I think he might have got a bit low on the bat, I think, and just sort of turned his hand and got in the mid on, and you know, big wicket, 13 off 5 balls, and then to get that wicket off the last ball really takes away a lot of that 13. Yeah.
Interesting enough, I think it was a wicket when Bartlett might have been out. I think there was 13 off the over, but a wicket fell as well.
Yeah.
I think, bit of credit to Hardy there too. Obviously, the execution wasn't great, but he certainly didn't dart that last one in. He was still trying to throw it up, and sometimes it doesn't matter how you get him, it's just how many.
Well, if you look at 6 overs left in the game, 50 runs to win, so it's still around about that 8.5, 9 and over. So it's well on target here. Yeah. They bat very deep, the ACT Aces. In the preliminary rounds, they got themselves into all sorts of trouble in Wagga against the Border Bullets. They were 5 for 40, only chasing 100. They got them 5 down, so...
Yeah. I think it's been 8.3 probably for probably 8.3 runs, though, probably for the best part of probably nearly 10 overs now. So it hasn't blown out, it hasn't come in. There have been bits and some overs have come down, but it's still sat around that 8.3 runs and over.
It has to be frustrating for the Aces. Every time they've looked at getting on top or even getting themselves back into the game, they've lost the wicket. and they've had to rebuild, and obviously they're starting to run out of time to rebuild at this point of the match.
Yeah, well, Healy had 23, I think, off 12 or 13 balls. It's Archer coming back in, and once again, it's the batsman who's really starting to get on top and take the game on, and which then puts pressure back on Missick, who's been turning the strike over and getting the main run getter on strike. So
Archer bowls well, and Missick plays a nice shot behind point just for a single.
Tell you what, you don't want to be giving Missick too much room outside the off stump there against the spinners. Even if it's slightly on off stump, he has a real good way of getting the ball behind point and through that gully slip region.
So it'll
Mern,
yeah, we haven't seen a lot of him. He bowled pretty well. And he's a good all-round cricketer, though. Very highly credentialed out of the capital. He's got a big job ahead of him here. Still has a chance to have a look at a few, I reckon, Gaz.
Yeah.
No need to go hard full bore at the moment. As bowling now, well, that'll help things along very nicely if you don't mind. He's got through his defences there, and that is the 5th wicket to fall. Wonderful bowling there from Archer, and that is 5 for 104. We see just cleaning him up off and middle stump. Bit of an arm ball there. He got a good first one up, Mern.
Yeah, look, it might have kept a tad low. Looks like it might have skidded on a little bit lower, but he's probably just missed a fairly straight one there. And look, to be honest, all he was trying to do to get off strike. But new batsman to the crease, when you're losing wickets regularly, this is what can happen.
So Marty Groney rejoins us in the commentary box. And Marty, put your old ACT hat back on here. You spent a lot of time with ACT cricket and Cricket New South Wales there. Put your coach's hat on. How do you get out of this? 49 to win, 34 balls remaining.
I think they've got to start targeting first couple of balls and over to get a boundary, and then really it's still only sitting at that 8.6. And if you can get one boundary and over, find that boundary ball, and then picking up a runner ball, all of a sudden that just makes it ticking over. And surprisingly so, if you're doing that, you oftentimes end up with a couple of boundaries in the over, and that gets you right on track to chase the score down. And as you say, they bat very deep, but they do need to make sure that they're just ticking it over and looking for that easy boundary ball, one ball and over.
So the new batsman's Josh Watling, the wicketkeeper, originally from Goulburn, and he's really made a name for it. At 30 years of age, he's a late developer, but played a very good innings down in Wagga against the Border Bullets. So he's on strike now, and the Archer, he's like a good Archerman. He's very straight, and he's just arrowing in on that middle stump.
Again, every dot ball now
massive, isn't it?
Pumps that required rate up, and they're just pushing up towards that 9 and over now.
Bowls again, and this time it spins, actually grips. So the ball that knocked over Mern actually was an arm ball, came in. That one, I reckon, has gone away a little bit, Marty.
Probably didn't want that one to turn.
Yeah, he didn't want it to turn. Oh, and it has gripped too. So good over. He's in again, Archer, and this time Watling. He just punches it down to mid-on for a single. So a good over so far, just one ball to come in it. And this will bring us down to the final count. It'll be 3/4 time after this point. And then it'll be 5 overs left, still requiring 48 runs to win. Archer comes in, and clever work. Lovely work there from Missick. A little dab where first slip might have been. They should come back for the third. They will come back for the third. And more importantly, it'll keep Missick on strike, as that is the completion of a very good over from Archer. He has 2 for 21.
It's been a very productive zone for Missick today, just there behind, sort of through a gully slip area. It'd be really interesting to see how they play this. It looks, from what we've seen from Missick today, obviously he's a good worker of the balls, a good runner between wickets. It doesn't look like he's going to have the power game to clear the fence, but if his partners are willing to work hard with him and turn ones into twos and twos into threes, they might just go about this the old-fashioned way, a bit like an MCG game where you're not going to hit a lot of boundaries, but you can pick up twos and threes, and that keeps the run rate. It's not out of control. It's only 9 and over. It's the odd boundary here and there will certainly keep them on track.
So the new bowler, well, Hardy will continue. He'll bowl out his spell. Currently has 2 for 21. Bowls to Missick. Missick makes it a full toss, and he gets it down. We can't get it through the field, but he'll still get the single. 9 and over, Martin. That's the requirement at the start of this one.
And again, that's that one boundary and a runner ball. So it's not out of control, and they just need to make sure that they're working their way through it and thinking their way through it. Again, you can panic and try and hit every ball for for 4, or you can think your way through it and look for that one boundary ball and over and make sure that you're running hard between the wickets in between times.
A lot of room round fine leg, behind square leg, as Hardy comes in, and Watling plays the miss, attempt stump, great work. He's got him. Brilliant bit of wicket keeping there. Outstanding work. And they get their 6th wicket. That was just brilliant bit of work there. We'll just check. It's Harry Woodhead, the keeper, who's been pretty solid all day, and he got him off in a hurry there, Marty.
Very clever piece of keeping that, and a clever piece of bowling too. You could see that Watling actually looked down to the fine leg area. He was working his way across, and he's darted that one through outside off stump, and very well bowled. And the youngster's done a fantastic job here for his skipper with his 3 overs so far.
Hasn't he? Yeah, and possibly coming in contention as man of the match.
You know what? Hats off to the Aces here, because they've got plenty of overs in the bank, as we can see on the scoreboard. Your likes of Scott Birkinshaw, Adam Taylor, Archer, Lindsay, and Archer with overs up their sleeve, but they've persisted at a really critical time when they're not under the pump, but the pressure's certainly on the game. They've backed Hardy, and they've come up golden with another wicket. He's got 3 for 22 now.
So the new batsman, it looks like it's Josh Lowe McMahon. And he's got a big job ahead of him. Didn't play in the first match. He's come into this game. But he's a tall, strapping lad.
He's a big lump of a lad. I'd imagine he probably gives the ball a fair touch up. So
yeah, he's going to need to.
He's going to need to do the bulk of the hitting, and Missick will do continue to work the ball around and run hard between the wickets, which he's done very well.
Hardy comes in, and again he nearly gets his 4th wicket, a slash outside off stump.
It's just really going on with the arm from a Hardy here. They're playing for a bit of spin, which they're not getting. If anything, it's just slightly moving away from the bat.
He's a well-organised young lad. He looks very confident, very composed. He comes in again, and brilliant bit of bowling again from young Hardy. He's putting on a real clinic here. Only 1 run off this over.
This is a great over. That's a beautiful delivery. That good
bounce,
overspin, good bounce.
So what can McMahon do here? He's got to probably try to get off strike, and he still can't do that. And there'll be 1 ball left in the over now. Does he have a free hit here, Marty?
Absolutely.
Down at the other end.
Yep.
Missick's there.
Yep.
He's got to load up and launch here.
I think for the first time we've seen the run rate just duck above 10 as well.
Yep. Hardy to finish a wonderful spell, and they do get the single off the last ball, but that's a big win. Well bowled to the youngster. Outstanding figures. 4 overs, 1 for 20. Sorry, 3 for 24 for the youngster.
That's an excellent spell of bowling. He's done a great job for his captain there, and the youngsters really set them up here going into the last 4 overs. And more importantly, that run rate's bumped well up over 10 now, closer to 11 and over. So they really need to be finding a couple of boundaries now.
Yeah, it might be starting to really stretch that lower order of the Aces, who haven't seen a lot of cricket during this carnival. But this man here, Lowe McMahon, just could be the man yet. So it's just near enough to 11 balls as 11 runs per over as Matthew Taberner joins us with his Thunder kit on.
Looking a little bit nervous.
He does look a little bit nervous, doesn't he? Archer comes in.
He started off on the Wranglers and they didn't get through.
No, he's just working his way through each franchise in the Plan B Regional Bash. Goodness knows where he'll be next.
Not sure not too many franchises might not want me. I think I might be maybe looking for another sport maybe.
He could be seen later in a photo if the Rush win it. He might find a shirt and sneak into the photo.
So it's just a bit of a change in the field here. And that's the beauty of getting through these overs quick. It's been mentioned a couple of times here. Allows the captain, Galachan, to marshal the troops. And Asher's on strike to Missick. And what can the youngster do? Missick on strike now. He swings that one down to deep mid-on. Will they come back for the second? They will. A good throw could put him in trouble. They survive.
Just fumbled it.
Yeah, he did fumble it. And I think it might have been tight, Marty.
I think if he had gathered that, I think he still had plenty of time to run him out. So
40 off 22 is the equation.
A little bit slow on the turn there, Lowe McMahon. He turned a bit like Queen Mary.
Yeah. In comes Archer again now. It's well bowled, and they won't get any more than 1 here. Straight to short mid-wicket for a single. A win to the Rush there.
I think Lowe McMahon has to chance his hand here and really have a real crack, and they just need somebody to sort of take control and try and whack 2 or 3 boundaries in a row would really get them back into it.
He has got the shorter boundary here at the SCG, going to the members' pavilion, but I thought it might have bowled him. It's got through him. Good running by Missick. They'll get a bye. Went through the lot, didn't it?
Just doesn't seem any real intent from him, does there?
No, he's 2 off 6. Missick's 20 off 20. And with 20 balls left in the match, they still require 38 runs, the Aces. Archer up again. And Missick gets it high. He won't be caught. They've got 1. They'll come back for 2. The youngster's quick. A good throw. He might be in trouble. Brilliant running by the young fella. Missick gets back for an unlikely 2. And handy double there.
It's like Michael Bevan through the...
Wasn't he?
Through here. Especially too, he was down on one
Off
knee.
the back foot.
So he had to get up and go. And very good turner. He turns and goes straight away. And we'll probably see here with this throw comes in. I reckon he's made it fairly comfortably. We'll soon find out.
And he...
he's nearly past the stumps. He's done that easy.
Done well.
Very nice piece of running.
So just the 7 runs off this over so far.
Definitely need a boundary to finish it off.
Yeah.
Sort of gets a boundary gets them pretty close to the required rate. So
here's Archer. He's up now. And Missick tried to run that ball down to that third man, which has been pretty profitable for him this evening, but he misses, and that finishes the over. Another excellent over. So with 3 overs to go, it's 36 runs required. My book, Matt Taberner, that's 12 runs an over, and that's 2 runs per ball.
Gee, you're on the ball today, mate. It's late at night,
Sharp.
but you're still there. But we spoke in the innings break, and through the first innings, it was going to be pace versus spin, and 2 contrasting bowling sides. And at the moment, I think the spin will probably get him home. Brock Hardy, I think, has changed this game. He's bowled 4 straight at 6 and over, and taken 3 wickets. And I think the spin might be the key, and probably get the Central Coast home. And as we see Birkinshaw, so they're going back to pace now, going back to experience. Birkinshaw will come on from the Randwick end.
Yeah, definitely had a plan going into this finals day with those 3 left-arm spinners. And the young guys come up hardy with the off-spinner Marty. He's been a real surprise pack in the final.
absolutely didn't bowl in the semi-final at all, and he's done a fantastic job for his skipper and really put them well ahead going into the last 3 overs. And I think now, if Birkinshaw can pull together a really good over here, they're well on their way to winning the cup.
And we spoke about Snoop Rowlands with the Central Coast team, but we've got Cole Piper as the coach of the ACT, and he's doing a great job with the ACT New South Wales Country Comets in the Future League. So a really good coaching mix as well.
Yep. So here comes Scott Birkinshaw, and he bowls, and he's gone straight through Lowe McMahon, who's just had trouble getting rotating the strike, hasn't he?
Just hasn't really been able to get into it since he's been out there, and he really probably just needs to, get bat on ball, get Missick on strike, and with the extra pace, Missick could probably work it around and maybe get a couple of boundaries.
So Birkinshaw up in again, nice action, comes in, and it's well played there by Lowe McMahon. He does get off strike, and he'll put young Missick on.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting where Missick's going to hit this boundary. I've noticed third man's coming back to here, so that probably takes that glide out.
Yep.
I noticed fine legs starting to come up here, so is there an opportunity if he strays onto the legs, he'll go there. But he does like that cut shot, and there's deep points opened up, and I noticed the guy's probably going to come in here to block that up. But it's going to be very interesting where he's going to be able to hit this boundary, because they nearly need 1 or 2 boundaries and over now.
Maybe a little bit of room behind square, but I like the field Birkinshaw's set himself here. As he runs in now, bowls to Missick, and Missick hits it straight back at the bowler. Bump ball, dot ball.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to hit too many boundaries in front of the wicket. Hasn't quite got the size to do that, and the field's going to make it very hard, especially he's going to hit to the long side on the leg side. Maybe that glide, maybe a faint one down just past where first, second slip might be.
We haven't seen a scoop today. It'd be a good time to see one, I think.
Missick here. Was it wide? No, it wasn't. It was very well bowled. How about this for a start to the over? Dot, 1, dot, dot.
Gave himself a little bit of room, and very well bowled there by Birkinshaw.
Bit of experience here too. Remember Birkinshaw's first over went for 9. He bowled the 6 wides off the first 2 balls, and now halfway through his third over, he's only gone for another 5 runs.
So he's in again now. And they are sensing victory here, the Rush. And here's a big swing, a big heave from young Missick. He doesn't get much on it. Might even come off the body or the pad. No, he's got an inside edge onto that for a single.
Really, really
They
good
are
over
so
here.
close now.
Yeah.
They are so close to continuing their amazing run of success, the Central Coast, that they've had in all forms of pathway and rep cricket. They play these same two sides play on Sunday in the Country Championship final. As Birkinshaw bowls again, and Low McMahon, he just hits it straight to the man at short cover. They concede the single, and that is a very good over from Scotty Birkinshaw. Just 3 runs off it, and with 2 overs to go, ACT Aces 6 for 120. Well, they need a miracle, I reckon, here, Matt Taberner. They got to somehow get 34 runs off 12 balls.
Yeah, and they've only got 10 off the last 2 overs, so it's going to be a massive form reversal to be able to get the runs they need off the last 2 overs, the 33 runs they need off the last 2 overs. They've probably got to hit this one for nearly 15. They've got to get down to 18 overs, 18 off the last over to have any chance. So this needs to be a big over.
And we welcome back into the commentary box Mr. Birkinshaw himself, father of Scott, Gary Birkinshaw. And they're getting close, mate, but they're not there just yet.
No, not there yet. And, said one big over here and set up, 15 to 18 off the last over. Anything's possible. And, but you're quite confident with Adam Taylor with the ball in hand. He's very, very experienced. He's been hard to get away all year. And I expect a lot of the full balls here.
Here we go. And it is full. And he's clean bowled him. Straight through him, if you don't mind. Welcome back to the box, Gary Birkinshaw. 7 for 120. 33 off 11, and they are honing into a big victory here, the Central Coast Rush.
Yeah, I think so. How's the fat lady looking? I think she's warming up the tonsils. I think
close.
she's
very close.
Very
indeed.
close. Yeah, I think I can't see how ACT are going to get this one. That's well bowled, straight. I think it might have been inside edge onto leg stump.
Yeah, it might have come off his leg, Matty, inside his thigh pad.
But I think they've just got to swing the bat now. You
Yep.
you get bowled out. You've got to go for it, and well bowled there to Adam Taylor.
Yeah, it's been a good job with the ball.
Very good.
Rush. Yeah, they've
Very
been
good.
very professional with how they've gone about. They've had to withstand a couple of really periods of the innings where the Aces were really taking on when Bartlett was in there, and then when Healy came in and had to go. They were really challenged for a lot of the early parts of the innings, and they've just persevered. Brock Hardy, you mentioned in the call, absolutely superb. Well done, Peter Gallatin, for giving the confidence to keep him going, even when he went for that 13 runs off the over.
Yeah.
And and in the end, I think it's been their variety with the ball that's probably going to get them over the line.
Well, I think if you look back at one stage, it was 45 just off 30 balls, which is still manageable. 9 runs and over. You look at now, it's something like they've been able to restrict them off the last, around about 19 balls. They've only scored 16 runs. So that's brilliant bowling.
Interesting to go back. When was the last 4 hit?
Yeah, but a long time ago. In we come again now, Taylor, and he might slide one down the leg side. So there's a bonus run. That will help, Gaz.
Yep.
Yeah, just on that, there's been 17 runs off the last 5 overs, but the last boundary was in the 13.5 overs, so yeah.
Here we go again now. It's a big one straight through him. 2 wickets in 3 balls. Rahman's gone, and it is 8 for 120. 8 for 121, I think that should be. And they've just about got there now, Gary, but great bowling from Taylor. He's had a good season, represented New South Wales country, and he's batted well today. He's had a big game.
Great showing there. What we spoke about with Adam Taylor's bowling, you're not going to see it so much from this angle, but just slides the ball in, just drifts it in with the arm, comes in with the arm, and and just his control is first rate. So very hard to get away, and now he's been rewarded with some wickets at the end as well. So well done to him. And 8 for 121. Some work to do now, Robbie.
Yeah, to the Rush, they've beaten a very good side too. The Aces, a lot of young emerging cricketers there, but a lot of good experience. Guys like Bartlett, but the early wicket of Flores was a run out there, but that was due to a lot of good pressure bowling. A maiden over, that one.
Yeah, Taylor again. That was a maiden over, and it created the run out. The LBW shout. Flores then was disorientated, and then a direct hit from a run out, and that started it. That actually, Flores was the star of the semi-final, and with him and Bartlett at the top, they were going for it.
Here's Taylor in again. He slides another one in, and it's a big swing from Ninneman, and they will come back for 2. They do get there.
You would have liked Missick probably on strike there, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
I know they need all runs now, but Although Ninman can bat. There's no doubt about that. He can bat. I'm surprised he's probably batting so low.
Well, he'd have to. He's got to put 2 over the fence.
Yeah.
That'd leave at best 18 off the last over.
Yeah.
I think we're trying to find ways to keep this game interesting or close.
Well, they're probably going to take it to the last over. That's what they always say. Take it to the last over.
Yeah, well, they're going to do that.
Well, Matty had the Wranglers still going pretty strong there.
He did, didn't he? Matty never gave up in the Wranglers.
Yep.
It could be a run out here if he gets down the other end. No, they got the 1 run there. That'll get the young fella Missick back on strike.
So Matty had him going for 6 wickets off 6 balls,
even though they
then would have lost on countback, but he was still confident of the win. So
that's the
you're never out.
That's the loyalty of a Wrangler, mate.
Yeah, it is, mate.
Yeah.
Well, you just changed.
That's one word. Yeah, that's one word. But Alan Lamb, did he get 18 off an over to beat Australia one day?
Bruce Reid.
Off Bruce Reid, yeah. So you never know.
At this venue.
So you never know. We get that down to. I think they need 2 sixes here to get that, but never rule it out.
Young Missick on strike.
Yeah.
So he's shown a lot of promise. 23 of 25 balls, but only a young fella in his teens.
That was on top of his unbeaten 30-odd in the semi-final as well. So when you're putting together both, he's yet to be dismissed, scored over 50 in pressure situations.
Yep. Learning curve.
Yeah.
Dot ball there. He hit that ball very hard, but he hit straight back at the bowler. Taylor now to just wind out the over here. Comes in, bowls the Missick, and he's got a good piece of it. He might get caught on the boundary by another youngster. He does. Looks like young Hardy down there taking the catch. Very safe pair of hands. A good innings from Missick, but it's 9 for 124. 6 balls to go. They need 29, and the Coasters are rushing home.
We said in the last game, 6 wickets in an over, 6 sixes, 5 sixes. They can have a dot ball, 5 sixes in the last over.
Anything's possible,
Yep,
Tabs.
it is. Yep, you're right.
It's been a long day for you, mate.
That was a good hit by Missick.
Yeah.
Long boundary there, but really safe hands, Brock Hardy. He's had a fantastic final.
I like the way he takes it low there too. So it's a bit at 50-50 on this, but the young fella felt very comfortable about this one.
3 wickets in the over by Taylor. Really good coming on as a bowler and when they got to go for it every ball and pick up those couple of wickets at the end there and good bowling figures. And
who's your man of the match, Gaz? Give me your man of the match. Who's a contender? Hardy's a contender. 3 wickets.
Hardy's a contender for
Taylor?
sure. Taylor, he got 20 odd at the beginning, bowled really well at the beginning. You bowled that maiden over to Flores, which created a run out. Batted well at the top. It's hard.
With the bat, we had
Cohen got 40 odd with the bat.
Well, it's going to be the young fellow, young Scott Birkinshaw, who's got the honour of bowling out the last over here. It'll be a pretty good feeling too, as the ball's just dropped down to square leg, and they scuttle through for a leg bye.
Yeah, Taylor got 19 with the bat open.
Yeah.
It's got 3 wickets in that over, but bowled that maiden. I think between Hardy and Taylor, probably.
Yeah, I'd go Hardy.
Yep.
I really would. I think he bowled at the pivotal time. And
I'd tend, and a young bloke under. Yep. So 28 or 5 balls, it is still
5 sixes.
Stretch the imagination, it could happen, but Birkinshaw just has to run in, and he does well. He beat the bat outside off stump. So they are home. They know it now. And a good contingent of supporters who have come down from the coast today.
There is a good group of coast supporters here, yep. And all those watching on Bar TV.
Yep.
You feel like you're here anyway when you're watching on Bar TV.
You do, don't you? You're
great,
so close.
Great pictures.
Not on Facebook, via Facebook, and blokes out of Dubbo.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute, I think, Robbie.
Here we go.
Hopefully we get a chance here. So Dave from Dubbo, what did he actually do to you, mate? What did he...
No, just a little bit of feedback. Probably he was what a lot of people are thinking. He actually probably said. So yeah, he's all good. Dave's good. No, Dave, he's a bit of a legend out that way.
Yeah, there's a lot of controversial blokes out at Dubbo. We got Dave, of course, and we've got a guy who looks after a library at Barrabadeen. Who's very controversial.
Matt Ellis.
Very controversial bloke, old Matty Ellis.
We're winding down here. 27 required. It's a big swing from Ninneman. It's only 1 run, and gee, they've bowled well. I'll get Matty Taberner to go through roughly what's been off the last maybe 5 or 6, 7 overs here. It's been remarkable bowling from the rush here. They've given nothing away.
Yeah, they were 6 for 110 after 16 overs, so now we're 3 for 18 off the next 5 overs or 4 overs here. And that's it.
Birkinshaw takes the wicket. A great catch, a diving catch there again by Harry Woodhead. Toka Beauty, and the Central Coast rush with that wicket, it is all over, and they are going to be the champions of the Plan B Regional Bash. Thoroughly deserved, as we've said many a time. They've had a great season at all levels, all age groups. Well done to the Rush. Gary Birkinshaw, I know you're a very proud man up that way.
Yeah,
Fantastic win.
Yeah, look, a really good win. And you only have to go back to round one. They had to score 3 runs off the last ball to defeat Newcastle Blasters in round one.
To get through. Yeah.
And they did that. They poked it down to third man and just ran and got across the line. And then to come here and perform like this has been a full credit to them. And the beauty I like about this side is that everyone's got a role to play. They all contribute. You know, not one particular player stands out. Everyone has a role to play and chips in and does their bit on the day. And I think that's what you need to win these types of games. So, look, fantastic performance by the Rush. Well done to the Aces, though. Look, they were very gallant in defeat. There's no doubt about that. And they'll be proud. Should be very proud of what they performed today. And these two sides, they're going to meet again on Sunday in the New South Wales Country Championship final. So.
Quite remarkably.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Matty, we'll go through those very shortly. Keep going, mate. We'll go through all the wickets to fall before we do close up and have a final wrap-up.
Yeah, what it does too with the Central Coast winning this game in the 4 finals, it's 2-2 between the Thunder and the Sixers conference finals now. So Arana Outlaws and the Border Bullets have won it for the Thunder, and we've got the Newcastle Blasters and now the Central Coast Rush getting it for the Sixers. So 2-2 after 4 finals, and just shows that it doesn't matter which part of the state is. And as we start looking at all the wickets here, and this is the first wicket. This is after the 5 dot balls turned down to a run out. See Ethan Bartlett looking to run, sends back Timmy Flores, and a direct hit here by Birkinshaw again. Gets that first wicket, and we'll see it again. They all went up for the LB. Yeah, probably wasn't going to hit outside with a good call there, but yeah, the direct hit here sees him well short.
And full credit to Birkinshaw. He had a pretty average first over, but still to be concentrating the field, and it turned it around. And this is the big wicket.
Massive wicket, Tabsy.
Yeah, definitely. The 13 was off this over before this ball, and we knew that Birkinshaw was Bartlett was just hitting every ball and felt like in the zone, but yeah, just didn't quite get it over. And Hayden Murphy took a great catch on the boundary.
My word, that was going for 6. If he had spilled that drops over. 19 off the over.
Now we see Hardy come in, and he takes 3 wickets here in the middle, and he starts off here by getting one through the defences, and the head goes back. And
his first over of the day, wasn't it?
His second ball.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
This I think is a turning point in the game. I really do. He's gone for 13 off this over as well, and full toss and just hit it straight to wide mid on, and that's probably twice we spoke about in the game where they took 13 and then lost a wicket on the last ball, and beautiful arm ball there.
Yeah, little slider from Archer.
Yeah.
Right on, and he's again. Takes his 3rd wicket here. I think this is the stumping. Yeah, great piece of work by Hubert Woodhead. He's found him well short.
And they were really going for it here now, weren't they? They had this. It was all or nothing at this stage of the game, and 3 wickets in the 1 over. They need to clear the boundary. They take nothing away from the shots. They needed to clear the boundary.
And as we watch these last few wickets, I think also we need to give credit to the 6 umpires that have come out today. They've done a great job, excellent job. Been spot on with all their decisions, so well done to the 6 umpires who've put on a good show as well.
And the final wicket, this rolled it all over here. Great catch there, diving catch by young Harry Woodhead, and it gave Scotty Birkinshaw a very well deserved wicket. And that wrapped up as the presentations will go on, boys, but we're going to wind it up pretty soon here. But congratulations again, big thank you again to the SCG Trust, Cricket New South Wales, all the volunteers. Bar TV, been absolutely fantastic. Plan B, what great sponsors of cricket in New South Wales, sport in general, and to get the game played here, it's just fantastic. We say, as I said, the Trust found a way of playing it on Tuesday. It is so much appreciated by regional cricketers and people from right around the state. All the people who work in cricket, it provides wonderful feedback. Thanks, Gary. Thank Matty. We've had Marty Garoni, Luke Minor, Dave Gavin, and Jack Clifton. You guys have been fantastic.
And also to the 4 teams who've put on a great show for us today. 4 great games of cricket, went down right to the end, so thank you to all the 4 teams. And a lot of these guys would have given up a day at work to make it here today, so thank you very much to them.
All right, we'll sign off. It's been a win again to Central Coast Rush. They've had a magnificent year. They defeated the ACT Aces in a good final, but it was good bowling, good pressure fielding, and the Central Coast Rush become the 4th winner of the Plan B Regional Bash. It's Robbie McKinlay, and I'm going to sign off from the SCG in what has been a fantastic day of cricket. Thank you to the Plan B Regional Bash.